everybody. Each of you say, I'm fine with whatever, but blah, 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 right? So you're all very flexible. So it goes to prove that whatever decision you guys go with, no one's going to be super upset. No one's going to have a bad time. No one's going to hate the game. So that's a really good place to come from, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're really, you're at a crossroads right now. Option one is, let's finish what we started with, Mars, the reason we went to Mars, or deal with Tyrath, or deal with the Baron, and go from there. And on the other hand, it's, let's put that aside and investigate this prophecy that's happened, right? This message that Mila got, and apparently everyone around the world got too. Now, it appears that both these things are mutually exclusive, correct? You can't do everything all at once, all at the same time, right? But ask yourselves, is it feasible to be able to do both goals? Maybe not at the exact same time, but in succession of one another.
Yes.
Like, there's no point in going down a crossroads if you can't both have it both ways. You know what I mean?
It's certainly feasible, and I considered that. It could be risky though, because like, here's the thing: we just don't know. Like, is it feasible? Absolutely. We might be able to get everything wrapped up on Mars and get back to Earth and be there in plenty of time, or we might go to Mars and get everything wrapped up there and come back and it's all done.
It's risky.
Well,
yeah.
It is definitely risky. The thing is, though, we would very likely have to do another job or some kind of favor for Tyrath, but he can manipulate time. What we can do is potentially leave here at this time, go do the Baron thing, fulfill his bargain,
Right.
go back in time 4 months, and have us take the trip from Mars to the Baron, have Tyrath meet us at the Baron, and then send us back to this time where we're at Lacree right now, but at a different place, near Greencastle, in the
So,
Rhapsody.
my thing is, Tyrath is, I feel, is willing to do the wherever I pick you up, let's go to the Baron and we'll drop you back off where you were when I picked you up. I'm unsure if he's going to do any other trips without any other favors.
I know.
Wait,
That's why I started off with, we're probably going to have to do another favor.
but we might not have
What do you
to.
think?
If we,
Patrick.
and I know,
Squee. Whoever you are.
I
go
know,
ahead.
I know that this isn't the ideal for our friends back in space, but if we just tell Tyrath to drop us off at the Baron after everyone's already gotten back, or right when they're getting back, then right then and there we hook up with Alicia and August and Blink and everyone, and then Tyrath comes to pick us up and take us back, we're golden.
And
the only
have,
thing there is that they're going to sit there for 4 months going, so...
I'm not okay with that at all.
Well...
I'm for my character, my character would not be okay with that.
Right. Is there any way he might be? Like, if we can get them a message, or...
No. There's just...
no flexibility? None whatsoever.
We already went over the fact that Tom and Blink have only been together for like 2 months.
Right.
And then, just out of the blue, 4 months he's gone. I doubt that kind of relationship would even be salvageable at that point.
What?
Like,
wait. She's going to be on a ship for 4 months with August.
Yes.
Is that your competition?
No.
There is.
So let's just say out of the blue, HK with no notice whatsoever were to just disappear for 4 months.
Yeah, but that's why
No
I said what.
communication.
I know that I understand. I said, what if we can get a message to them or something, some way of letting them know this is what happened and we'll be back. That I think would be. I agree. Obviously, Tom wouldn't be happy about it. Al wouldn't be happy about it. It's a matter of what are our options? Obviously, if Tyrath is all, yeah, like let's say Tyrath is like, yeah, sure, do me one more favor and I'll take care of this. Fantastic. What if he's a busy man? What if our really best way to do this is like that, and we can get them a message? Like I said, this isn't the most ideal situation, but it is a way it could work without needing another favor from Tyrath. If we can't get them any sort of message, then Al would be with Tom, simply because he would feel like he's abandoning his friends.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
There is one way, but we would need the technology for it. Well, I mean, there's more than one way, but there's one way that I can think of with our...
Okay, what are you thinking?
So, my laser skill. I know.
Oh boy!
Bum, bum, bum.
Can't wait where this is going. Please continue.
So, while I was reading the laser skill, it's actually laser communication, as in
Yeah.
stuff that's usually done for, like, space and stuff like that. Being able to send code through waves of light. Laser.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If done correctly through math, and if we had the technology for it, we would be able to send them a message. Of course, if they had the equipment to receive such things.
Okay. Inferno's thinking. I'm gonna say the ships are definitely advanced enough to receive laser messages, yes.
Our problem is having the technology to send laser messages.
Yes.
Because we
Through
don't have
the
that.
stratosphere, yes. Yes, indeed.
Through the stratosphere and all of the wreckage that orbits the planet, along with trying to make sure that we hit the precise target of the ship.
Yeah,
It's
It
hard. It's an idea.
Extremely hard.
It requires a butt ton of math, as well as some guesswork about the stratosphere, because of course that will bend and reflect some light,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the objects that may or may not be floating between such places.
Okay. All right. So, guys, we haven't actually officially started the session. The players are just getting together and try to be on the same page before we start the session. So, come in, sit down, and enjoy us as we discuss as the players discuss what step they want to take next.
I'm
Or
still
what,
not
or
the biggest.
specifically what goals.
Yeah, I'm still not the biggest fan of it, but I guess if you guys want to do it that way, I will have no choice. And we can
Well,
do it.
I would certainly say I don't want to do it that way.
No.
It's just something to consider if we have to do it that way.
Okay.
Obviously, the best solution would be, in this regard, convincing Tyrath to let us do a small, quick job for another favor or something like that. But it's Tyrath. Who knows? But I do feel that as much, and the more I think about it, the more I'm really intrigued by all of this. I think we need to wrap up one before we start the other. Besides that,
Okay, yeah.
we could go to the Baron, get our wish,
Well-
come back with really cool stuff to help out even more.
We technically have one more option.
Okay.
What we could do is just have Tyrath take us to the Baron. Boom. Do our part of the boon, our stuff, like literally right now, while the stuff is in transit from Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And then after we do the boon, we negotiate for, we just want the Rhapsody and everything on it. Done. Or something to that tune. We have Tyrath take us back to the ship in real time, no time travel whatsoever. Explain the situation and see if everybody's willing to go with us to Earth, and then go to Earth. Boom. We spend maybe a day and we're back on Earth.
No,
the
we
Rhapsody.
spend 4 months and then we're back on Earth.
No. I'm talking about literally with okay. Like
Mhm.
where we are right now,
Mm-hmm.
and then no time travel whatsoever, go to the Baron right now.
Right.
Like right now, as in the wood and everything will be arriving in like 3.5 months.
4 months. Yeah,
Right.
3.5 months. Yeah.
For the Baron. We complete that. We negotiate. We do all of that. Just say we want the Rhapsody and whatever's in it, yada yada yada, and then we just have Tyra take us to the Rhapsody where it is.
Right.
No time travel whatsoever.
Right.
And then we just take the Rhapsody to where we are.
3.5 months later. Right.
Not 3.5 months later.
It takes 3.5 months to travel back to Earth from where
Mars
they
to
are.
Earth.
No, I'm saying Tyrath would be transporting the ship and everybody in it to Earth.
Oh, good
if
God.
he was away. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, well, he didn't.
Okay. Yeah, you left that part out.
No.
You left the whole
All right, so that is a
transporting-
plan, though. So
It is
really,
a
what
plan.
you'd be
Everything would
doing
happen
is
within a day.
so the favor from Tyrath is just another, for lack of a better word, transportation favor, right? He wouldn't need to shift time whatsoever, right? Because that could be something he doesn't want to do, or something that requires more, or a bigger deal, or whatever, right?
Yep.
But he transported the Behemoth, and you guys one place before. Rhapsody is much bigger than the Behemoth, right? Assuming that you get the Rhapsody. Well, fair enough assumption. But yeah, so that is a good that is a way to keep everything in real time without keeping people in the dark and being able to. That's actually not a I shouldn't put wait. I shouldn't put my opinion on that. I'm sorry. It is a solution.
Then I will put it in front of you. I like the idea. I really do. If we were going to ask him for a favor anyway, that seems like a lesser favor to ask for. Couple of questions though, and maybe Tom would know this.
Wow.
Is the Rhapsody atmosphere worthy? Can it fly in atmosphere?
It can fly in atmosphere.
It landed several times into Mars, and yes, the Martian atmosphere is about 1/3 that of Earth, but it definitely has the propulsion for it, and it has the landing gear for it.
So
in
we
fact,
treat the Rhapsody as our new Behemoth.
Essentially. Inferno,
Potentially.
Would it be fair enough to say that Tom has enough experience piloting the Rhapsody and possibly looking into its schematics and all of that, to know it in and out?
Not in and out, unfortunately. You'd know a good portion about it, right? But you would have needed to spend more time with the Rhapsody to know every little crevice about it. But what are you wondering about the Rhapsody that Tom might know?
Could I make the statement that it could go underwater? That's how good it is in atmosphere.
You know what you would need to do, and we would do this narratively, is that you don't know much about underwater, the pressures, or anything like that. Patrick does, however. So using his scientific skills, he would explain like how hard the pressure is, blah blah blah, and you would be able to compare it to the vacuum of space, and eventually you would come to the conclusion that it can survive underwater. Yes, it can be piloted and run underwater. Not completely optimally, but it will not sink like a stone, and you wouldn't all die. Correct.
Guys, we can recreate Sequest.
Oh God.
You could do all sorts of things. You could do all sorts of things.
Okay. Okay, I'm liking this idea. Also, I guess while we're... Oh, go ahead.
I also have the feeling, if we word it a certain way, we might be able to get out of not having to do a boon for that extra couple of teleportations. The reason why is we all know that Tyrath does a lot of business in Splin. We know that Splin is on Earth. And we know of a prophecy that's going to possibly destroy the Earth, also Splin, which he does a lot of business in. So he would have a vested interest in knowing this.
Right. Yeah, if we word it very carefully, like we don't start with the favor, we start with here's information we've seen, we just wanted to let you know, and then lead into other things. Yes, I do want to be very careful. I certainly don't want to try too hard to manipulate Tyra.
Pushing too hard. Suffice to say, you know for sure, Tyrath did explicitly say, once we are done with the boon for your friend, your associate, I'll send you to where you wish. I'll return you to where you wish, right? So that would take care of him getting you into the Baron and that getting back to the ship, no problem, right? Yeah, the only thing you have to bargain for is getting the ship in the middle of friggin' space, boop, out there and to Earth.
And we
Which
would have to do
could
it there.
explain. We could, dude. We could explain as we are very concerned with this. If you do this for us, we will try and make sure that this prophecy does not come to pass. So
Right.
it's like this whole entire counteracting this prophecy
Oh,
is a job for Tyra.
wait, yeah. What if we say we are allies? We can act as your arm. You don't have to expend time or resources to worry about this prophecy. Send us. We'll worry about the prophecy. All we need is one extra teleportation.
Basically.
We could do that. We would have to do it that way because we need, as much as I know that would drive Tom crazy, but we need to give Blink a chance that if she doesn't want to go back to Earth, she can board one of the other ships.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I would want to give her that chance.
Okay. While we're on it, so when we're asking for boons and stuff, here's one thing Al would want, especially for coming back to Earth.
Mm?
One of the top of the line new glitter boys.
Oh, you mean just like Tom's?
Just like Tom's. Not so that he can pilot it, because he doesn't like big armor like that. But imagine what kind of flying titan he could get if he traded in that baby.
Oh my god, seriously? To the Northern Gun too.
Oh, Squee.
Oh my god, that would be crazy.
Anywho, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I'm just wondering, Piph, what is your thoughts on this most recently suggested plan?
They seem to be having a good time. I don't think I want to get in the middle of it.
All right, fair enough. So is that just a Piph way of saying, well, fine by me?
Yes.
Okay. just wanted to be sure. Just wanted to be sure. Okay. All right. So, my friends, are you confident enough for us to start the session? Or do you guys still want to mull over some small details or ins and outs?
Well, actually, then there are small details that we need to go over.
Oh, okay.
This being the case, do we want to spend time here long enough to do any of these smaller odd jobs? Personally, I kind of want to get to the meat. If we're going to be doing this anyway, like there's not a whole lot of point to spend time here, with one exception. Al would by all means not want to rush Patrick. He's at home finally for the first time, so he'd want to do whatever Patrick wanted to do until Patrick's ready to go. But as far as doing odd jobs and stuff, if we're heading back anyway, let's just,
save the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. To be honest, the only thing that I'm interested in with these odd jobs is getting enough money to get Blink a gift, and then we'll move on from there. I am sort of tempted to, Piph, are you thinking Patrick would want to stay here for another day or two, or what's going on?
Oh, if you generally glance at Patrick, your general thought of him in his hometown is he seems awfully distracted.
Oh.
Distracted by the prophecy. Right?
Unless you're in his head, you will not get the answer for that. Unless you directly, ask him.
Patrick. Do you want to stay here for a couple of days in your hometown, or would you like to go?
If we need to do things here, we can stay, but I have no real intention of settling down now.
Well, obviously not settling down, but I mean, you haven't seen your parents in some time. Are you okay? You don't need more time to catch up, or? Al kind of shrugs, not knowing what families do.
I mean, I'll say goodbye to them,
Families
but
do?
I don't think there's much else to say.
Okay. And out of character, as far as Tom's gift, dude, Burn, We're in a city that's a massive pile of scrap. Just go hunting for an hour. You'll find something. Get her like an old, carburetor or something. She'll love it.
And they say romance is dead.
I know,
And they
right?
say romance.
If
is
you
dead.
guys
I'm
ever need
surprised
some
that
advice,
thing work out with Kennedy. I'm surprised.
you guys, if you ever need advice, you come to me. I know.
On Valentine's Day.
That's right. Right.
Yep.
That's a good day.
No, I had an idea of a few things that I could have gotten. I'm look, I really want to do just one quick job. Might take the afternoon. I want to do the Northern Gun representative thing. Is that cool with you guys? Do you guys want to tag along?
No, I'm all for it. However, because of the situation, Al would certainly be letting everyone else take point.
Okay.
So he'd kind of sit back on this one and provide moral support. I mean, he'll be there, but he'll be the
He doesn't want to be the talkie because of the
guard,
pointy ears. Yeah.
the talkie, the pointy.
All right. Then let's do that.
All right.
Because
So sorry, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure it's not going to take hours upon hours upon hours to do.
I certainly hope
a
not.
meeting.
Unless you're
Yeah.
a really bad negotiator.
Oh, yeah, that would be really bad.
All right, then Al would have or I have a question for the GM then.
Hi.
Hi. Al would look around after knowing that this is something we're going to do, and he would look around and see if there is a type of clothing, a hat, a bandana, a helmet, something that he would see around typically that wouldn't be unusual or strange for someone to wear that would cover up the top part of his ears.
Oh, well, definitely. I guess technically we're going to just start the session now, honestly, because we don't have any art to show. And
There is one.
Hi, everyone. We've been streaming for a
Hello.
while, too.
There
Hi,
is
everyone.
one that I have up actually.
Oh,
Done.
yeah. There is one?
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is. The one that Criana drew. Okay, let's show that. Then can I answer your question, Squee?
Yes, by all means.
All right. Yeah, let's show this off.
This is Criana's drawing of Nora, wrestling a dwarf, who is still with us,
Yes.
by the way.
Yep.
Yeah,
Door
I
Grill
completely forgot about
Brew
that.
Braid. I'll get to him in a moment. by the way. Door Grill Brew Braid. Yeah, she
All right,
beat
then.
the shit out of a emaciated dwarf. Our heroes. I would. By the way, just out of I just wanted to say. I'm going through the experience list, giving you guys experience for this week, and I get to the point where prevented unnecessary violence. I'm like, nope. No XP on that. No one at all intervened. The dwarf and Nora trying to beat each other up.
I found it entertaining.
Sure. I'm just saying, I thought that was really funny when I was going through that. I'm like, did they do that?
I was
No.
thinking throughout that sequence, it's just like Patrick jumps in the middle, his body gets crumbled.
Yeah, I was thinking Al comes away with a dislocated shoulder again.
And your stomach through your gut.
Right.
Stomach through your gut, stomach through your mouth. Okay. So to answer your question, Squee, there are, interestingly enough, there isn't a really style of hat that is worn, although you do see a few people wearing. Typically, most of them are fur-lined. But actually, more often than not, it's either handkerchiefs or kerchiefs, either on the head or around the neck, and many of them are smudged with dirt or grease. But also helmets. Helmets of all sorts of styles, whether it just covers the crown of the head or it's a full-faced helmet. Much of the time, the folks here at LaCree, it's actually a real style to take either old body armor or power armor helmets and like cut and weld them and to shape them into different shapes and turn them into new different styles of headgear. Some ornamental, some practical. So it'd be very easy for you to either acquire one or for even Patrick to make one for you in a small period of time.
Oh! Is there one that would be modified so that the front swings down like an old medieval faceplate, and you can
Sure,
swing.
yes. Definitely. It won't be the most prettiest thing in the world, but it'd be very functional.
That's fine. I'm pretty
I
enough.
said, "Good day, sir." Swings down the thing.
You pop it up a little bit. Good day. Pop it back down. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So then let's start the session proper. All right. Over the week, for those of you who are watching, who are unaware, I sent a little list of jobs that they would hear while they stayed in Lecree. Most of them through people that Patrick either has known or is friends of friends. All right. And one of these, actually, I'll read this off just to get everyone on the same page here. So, Tobus Tan, a friend of the Kinsman's, has managed to unearth a considerable find in her abode. Although it isn't a cornucopia, which is a term folks from Lecree use to describe a extremely valuable one-of-a-kind find, it's still a fine piece of tech. On an old damaged hard drive, she managed to recover blueprints for a new type of stress monitor that has the potential to be universally added to forms of body and power armor. Now, a representative of the Northern Gun, which is a popular weapons, armor, and robot manufacturer in the area, has arrived at Lecree, but there is a small problem. The representative is someone named Abby Schuman. Now, although Lecree has fostered a very good trade relationship with the Northern Gun Company, and most representatives that come to Lecree are tolerant, or at the very least professional, Abby Schuman is not one of those people. She is known to purposefully and ruthlessly lowball DB clients. Now, Tobus Tan is a DB, and normally she has a good human friend of hers, a fellow named Grady Pruitt, to be her stand-in for the meetings with Abby. However, he has a bad case of food poisoning that he's still recovering from. So Tobus Tan is looking for a human or human-looking folks to represent her and negotiate a good, fair price for her new find. She's willing to give 15% of the final sale to the representative, and any inquiries can be made at her place. The Eastern Quarter, 5th Stack, Blue Steel Door.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tom will go there.
That will go with Tom.
Will Patrick go with Tom? And
Find out the next episode.
No, motherfucker. Now. We're gonna find out now.
I kind of would like Patrick to come along.
Piph
All right,
stop streaming.
That'd be fantastic. But yes, Patrick will come.
Sweet. So then the three of us arrive at the Blue Steel Door at Eastern Quarter, 5th Stack. And Tom will knock at the door.
All right. It is answered by a humanoid. Tobus Tan, Patrick knows, is a female of her species. She has very, very, very light pink skin, actually more of a rose color. She's surprisingly tall, and the stack in which she lives in is a little bit taller than all the others, and you can kind of see why. For the floors that are needed to accompany her, even the entrance, way, has to accommodate her 8-foot tall form. But she's very, very thin as well. She has long arms, 4 fingers on each hand, and 2 of her fingers appear to be opposable on either side of her hand. She has a small, short nose that stubs out of her oval-like head. She has a wide mouth filled with flat teeth. And she apparently has a ring of 6 eyes that go around the crown of her forehead. And she looks down upon you. She bends down slightly through the doorway. And she says in a soft, husky voice, "Hello. How can I help you?"
Hi. I heard that you were looking for somebody to do a to fill in as a stand-in for you for a Northern Gun thing.
She gives a small nod, and her eyes look over towards Patrick, and she says, "Oh, You're the kinsman's boy, aren't you?
Patrick will stop looking off in the distance and actually focus on her and give a short, nervous nod.
Oh, good, good, good. Well, I'm so glad I managed to talk to your parents about my problem, and I'm glad you're here. Well, please, please, come on in, come on in. And she waves you into her abode. You have to descend a long series of stairs. And in fact, it's actually, sorry, I said stairs. It's more of a ladder that you have to descend down to her large and wide single floor abode. All right. It's styled in very much a way a bachelor's apartment might be. Just one large room with a small sectioned off area sectioned off for a bathroom. Otherwise, it's one big place with sleeping quarters, a kitchen, and a reclining area nearby. And she brings you by the reclining area, and she gestures to some of the well-crafted metallic chairs nearby. And she says, "Excuse me one moment, and I'll go retrieve my find." And she goes off to the other corner of the room, and she opens up a drawer of a nearby metallic case. She comes back with what appears to be a small black square, and it is attached to what appears to be a bright yellow circuit board. And she places it on the ground. So, not on the ground, on the table before you. And she says, "This is what I found." And she reaches into the pocket of her brown trousers that she wears. She's also wearing a light purple blouse, for lack of a better word. And she takes out a small portable computer, but it's very, very small, about the size of, say, like a Game Boy. All right, like a Nintendo DS. She takes it out and she taps a few buttons and she shows the screen towards you and she says, "These are all the schematics of everything that I found and everything that the software is able to do. But perhaps first I should tell you exactly what I found so you know exactly what to negotiate with. Does that seem fair?"
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, good. So, from my understanding, this is something that uses both changes in a local atmosphere, changes in the inflection of voice, and the measurement of biological data, such as whether a person's heartbeat quickens or they begin to sweat or perspire. That way it can be used to, using all these factors, it can moderate and see whether an individual is under a great amount of stress. Now, what's perplexing about this is that something like this is used typically in, say, I don't know, interrogation devices, I suppose. I'm aware that the folks over at Ipshaming sometimes use that to question felons. But this itself has been pre-programmed to fit into the circuitry of both body armor and power armor. Now, the reason for stress monitoring, I'm not too certain why it would be such a big advantage. Perhaps if under training purposes or something like that. When I discovered this, I wasn't really told why it would have a good function, but I was able to decipher that this bit of programming is incredibly adaptable. It is, for lack of a better word, uh, it fits in with almost any sort of operating system. So, for lack of a better word, this is very universal, which could be beneficial for the folks at the Northern Gun, since it would be very easy to put it into, you know, um, bits of armor and robotics and whatnot that they already have in production. They don't have to make brand new models just to fit in this piece of software. She looks around at you with her 6 eyes, her 6 ringed eyes, and she says, "Are you following me so far?"
Yes. What you're basically saying, and Tom will start to speak in Technocan and briefly go over everything that she's been kind of going over, like what
Ah,
the use of it and all of that.
she gives a pleased look on her face, and she responds in Technocan. "I didn't realize you spoke the technician's language. This is good. I am not too sure if the representative, if Abby speaks the same tongue, since I've never dealt with her directly, but it's worth giving a shot. It could give you a door in."
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
She folds her long forefingers in on each other and she says, "Now, unfortunately, I do not know how much this could possibly be worth, but since you are the kinsman's son," she looks over towards Patrick, "I trust you entirely to negotiate what will be a fair price, and being able to figure out, how many universal trade credits the Northern Gun are willing to part with."
Before I I do and go and excuse me, I'm slightly distracted. What would your usual costs for selling new datas like this?
She says, "You want some sort of benchmark, perhaps?" She scratches her chin a little bit. She says, "Software usually goes for about 20,000 credits. However, military software easily doubles that. And the universality of this might also increase its value. If I would hazard a guess, I would be very happy with 50,000 universal trade credits. However, once again, I'm more of an expert in deciphering the data. I am not a merchant. I don't typically deal with these representatives, especially not happy. But that is the benchmark. It's a loose benchmark," she says, and she gives an apologetic look and a shrug of her thin shoulders.
I can.
No, it's. Sorry, go ahead.
I can definitely work with that information. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Is there anything else you need to know? The data itself is stored here. The program itself is stored here, and she gestures towards the black square on the yellow circuit board. She says, "But if Abby is looking for technical schematics, you can definitely give her this. I only ask that I retrieve my personal computer afterwards, since that is mine. That's not really part of the sale."
Okay.
I see.
Do you have any questions? Do you need to know anything else? Oh, the meeting can be scheduled, or was normally scheduled, for later this afternoon, approximately 4 o'clock. I was going to push the meeting a little bit later on if I, waiting for my friend Grady to recover or to find someone else. But since you arrived here so quickly, perhaps if it works for you, we could continue the same meeting time.
Yeah, that definitely works for me.
Al would say, is there, we should probably ask, is there a limit of what you would not accept?
She looks at you blankly and she says, "No, not at all. As long as you think it is a fair price, and Abby will be dealing with you." She looks at all of you. She looks at your ears a little bit longer before she says, "So I don't believe that she will completely, what's the parlance? Rip you off. I don't believe she'll do that, and I trust you. I trust your family. So give me a fair price. That's all I want.
Fair enough.
Don't
And
worry.
then
We'll do our best. I mean, we have Patrick, who is really good at technology. We have my friend Al here. He is a doctor. So what we're very likely going to be doing is brainstorming on how this kind of equipment fitting into a piece of body armor or a piece of tech would be beneficial to have. Like, why would you need a stress monitor and that kind of thing? I immediately think that it's a medical thing. And I'm pretty good at talking.
Good. Wonderful. Well, if you need any other assistance before the day, then please feel free. You can stop by here and pick up the device just before you arrive at the meeting.
That sounds good.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. And she stands up a little bit to escort you back outside. And I'll let you guys talk amongst yourselves how you want to approach this. But honestly, the next scene I had in mind was the actual meeting. Whenever that works for you.
I would need to get the helmet we had spoke of earlier.
Yeah.
However.
Okay.
And I am also needing of one particular item as well. A memory stick.
Okay. Are you looking to purchase one or to scrounge one? Or get a one on loan? Actually, you could probably get the memory stick on loan from your parents.
Okay.
That probably isn't a problem, actually, now that I think about it. They're electronic wizards. They would have a spare one, and you're their son, so you just say, hey, do you have a spare memory stick? They'd be like, yes, here you go. Right. So there you go. As for the helmet, as long you have a few options there, Al. You can try to scrounge one for yourself. You could get the assistance of team members to scrounge for one and to make one up pretty quick for free, or you could purchase one. What would you like to do? Or maybe there's another option too that I'm not seeing.
Well, option number 3 requires money, so
Okay.
I would be like, so Patrick, obviously I'll have to cover my ears when we go to this meeting. I was wondering if you might be able to help me.
Patrick
a lot of
takes
people...
off of his hat and holds it up to you.
Al will completely forget everything he was thinking about. Very carefully take Patrick's hat and say, are you sure?
If you give it back, I have no mind at all to lend it out.
Al's not sure why, but he feels very honored. And he puts Patrick's hard hat on his own head. Feeling
How
like
delightful.
he understands Patrick just a little bit more.
This particular one is actually a little bit probably slightly higher tech than most things. This was the space hat that he got way back, and it was like a part of a like a workman's hat. I think it has like 2 lights on its head or something like that.
Like a space mining head, a hat. Yeah, the 2 lights are on either side, because Patrick left his helmet back on Earth because people are like, what the fuck is that thing on your head, right? So that's back at Elzone Prime with the Behemoth, right? So yeah, you have more of a spacey hat on right now, helmet really, but it covers your ears just fine. Interestingly enough, even though it's a little bit more high-tech and the aesthetics are different, it doesn't stand out nearly as much here in Lacree, with their current head fashions, as it does in other places such as Parents Post, or New Laszlo, or who knows, right? Interestingly enough, I am going to say on the way to the meet or while milling around town, Al is going to get some compliments about his hat. They're gonna
Aww.
ask him where he made it. They're going to ask him where he made it, what he made it from, that sort of small talk.
Al's just go to every single response. Oh, it's his. He just letting me borrow it.
And of course, then they barrage Patrick with the questions too. But are we good to move on to the next scene? Sorry,
I
go
just
ahead.
got it in space.
He's not
Sorry,
going to say
I cut off Piph. What were you going to say?
he's not going to say he got it from space, but he's going to say a more of a builder's an equivalent of MDC material suit. Typically for long days of welding.
Very interested in that answer. It appeases them, that's for sure. Wait, did what I say make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. I had a momentary brain fart there for a second, and I'm like, did I answer that right, or am I thinking of something completely different? Okay, anyways, are we good to? Do you guys want to discuss anything beforehand, or do we want to just move ahead to the meeting itself?
I actually, in order to further our chances, I was wondering if I could suggest Squee do a couple of skill checks. Possibly.
I'm all for it. I'm all ears.
Okay.
Get
Would
it?
you be interested in? Would you be interested in doing the following? Possibly that might help us figure out why a stress monitor would be needed in a suit of armor. Possibly a medical diagnose, and possibly something along the lines of your spy work, because I think that the military background would be applicable here.
Okay. Sure. I have a question, GM. Being a trained doctor, do I have to roll to know why stress monitors would be useful to a doctor? That seems like something any first-year med student would probably be able to. Or if you still want me to.
No. Skill checks, in my mind, for the most part, unless they're lore checks, for lack of a better word, you need to actually do something to do the skill check. Typically, you know what I mean. Sometimes knowing things like monsters and lore, that is the case. Okay, Inferno, give him a fucking short answer. Yes, you're right. You don't need to roll. You know, you actually know, Squee? Because if you actually know, this is going to save us a whole lot of time.
Well,
if you
yeah,
don't.
I can think of a lot of reasons why.
All right, then no problem. Yeah, then you are not inhibited by your character. Your character is not inhibited at all.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah. So Burn, while I don't think we need the skill checks, I definitely I think Al would probably go over it with Tom, because again, Al doesn't want to. He wants to draw as little attention to himself as possible. So the idea would be you sell it, and then if she's like, well, let me see what the doctor thinks, Al will answer if he must. But Al would tell you that having the ability for a doctor or any sort of battlefield medic to be able to monitor the stress levels of the people on the field of battle tells them all sorts of things. For example, people who are under high forms of stress are more easily go into shock if they're injured or wounded. They are more at chance of feeling stronger and deeper emotions like fear, anger, etc. If they have any history of PTSD, stress has a habit of kicking that back in. Plus, it can also determine how you treat someone, because if they are, it can also let you know something's wrong when it shouldn't be. Like if you're not in battle and there's stress monitors going off, maybe it's heat exhaustion, maybe it's something mental, but there's definitely things there that any battlefield medic would love to have.
Yeah.
Cool. May I make an out-of-character suggestion?
Of course.
So, I've played a few games that aren't very realistic, but if I had to go and be like, this is what I would use in a futuristic technology world and armor and stuff like that, Being able to basically, if somebody is, let's just say somebody is wounded, that maybe the body armor might actually like have some sort of injection to fix that, or mental state that basically if it's hooked up with an injector of some kind to boost
Like-
in particular things.
Like if it oh my god, if this kind of stress monitor is sensitive enough to know when somebody is going to die from shock, and give them like an adrenaline injection to maybe give them a few extra seconds of staying awake and alive and that kind of thing.
It wouldn't even have to be quite that sensitive. I would think, and this is part speculation, part GM, but I would think a well-trained doctor or battlefield medic would be able to know and associate what signs equal what. So, like, for example, he'd be able to look at an extreme level of stress and be able to make an educated guess as to what might be going on and what injections might or might not be needed.
Well, I mean,
It
like
would
auto
definitely narrow down the
injectors.
factors considerably. Yeah, but he's talking about auto injectors. So Biff's talking about, if you want to have a really
Well-
intrinsic suit of whatever, it can monitor. It's the feedback in which to be a delivery system of morphine, adrenaline, all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Healing.
I think
What I was saying was, what I was saying was that a doctor could look at that and program auto injectors accordingly, based off of what. Yeah.
I think that is a great selling point right there, because, well, I want to know specifically, where does the coalition get their tech? Do they get
You
it
have
from a
no idea.
specific company?
You have
Would
no
Squee
idea.
know?
No, actually, Squee wouldn't.
Damn.
He
Well, I
is.
guess-
I'm sorry, Al. Well, I don't know if Squee knows, but Al wouldn't
Well,
actually. Al was trained by the military, but just because, say, for example, they trained someone in World War II doesn't mean he knew where his gun was made.
True.
Right.
Because I had the concept of, okay, I can probably spin it as like mercenaries instead, but okay, let's just say the coalition buys stuff from you, or you get this new piece of tech, and oh hey, you have this new system installed in most of your body armors that is universal. And let's say a soldier is injured and there's no medic there. This kind of monitor will be able to know what is happening with your with the soldier, so that it will be able to patch them up through injections, through signals. Like if this person is mortally wounded, it sends out a distress beacon, boom, something like that, so that one soldier would be able to still fight.
And also to go from the other end of it, the spy or military experience or whatnot, a squad leader would love to be able to have the ability to monitor the stress of his squad mates, so that he can know we're about to go in battle. Jenkins over there is pretty stressed out. Hey, let's put him in the back so that he's not at the linchpin of this whole operation. Or, hey, one of my soldiers just had a stress spike. Hey, buddy, are you okay back there? Like, a squad leader could use this to better run his squad.
So all these ideas that you're putting forward isn't really metagamey at all. These are all thought processes that your characters would think of course. So do you guys now feel confident enough to go into the negotiations, or do you have more you want to talk about?
I think we're good. I'm good.
I think I'm good.
Okay, Piffy?
Yes.
All right. So I'll just paint the scene if that works for you. So, we'll say about 20 minutes beforehand, you would stop off at... Give me a moment. Tobis Tan's residence. Pick up both the pocket computer and the hard drive itself, for lack of a better word, the device itself, and go to the meeting area. And the meeting area is actually in the exterior. The weather is pleasant right now. There are just a few light, fluffy clouds in the sky. but it's very, very blue. The sun is about 3/4, down into the atmosphere, so it's a little getting on in the day, but it's far from dusk still. A few hours until dusk, at the very least. And the meeting place is nearby the entrance to Lacree, approximately 60 to 70 feet away from the entryway, from the rails of the end of the pile. There is, for lack of a better word, a community meeting area. All right. And there are a bunch of metallic benches, what appears to be like open fire pits or something used as like a form of barbecue, and even a few structures that have roofs on them. They're cylindrical roofs. They're almost imagine it as if it were a tent. Do you know like the big top tent, and they have a bit? It's practically like one really big circle.
Yes.
No, I'm not explaining this very well. Give me a moment.
It's kind of like a silo.
Yeah, silo. A caved out silo. Yeah. Imagine a caved out silo, with some places to sit in the middle there. And that is where the meeting place happens. And you arrive there first. You get there a few minutes early. And sure enough, coming up from, you can kind of see in the distance, coming up from the entrance elevator, the entrance lift, is a single woman. A woman and a man next to her, or what you're assuming is a man. The man is outfitted in gladiator-style body armor, and he has what appears to be Northern Gun issue rifle, and a pistol at his side, and slung across his back is what appears to be a large plasma ejector. Actually, the same model that Alicia had back in the day.
Damn, nice.
And she, however, is in very, very light body armor itself. Probably looks like Plastic Man, but she takes off the helmet. She is short-ish. She's probably only about 5 feet tall. She appears to be a slightly curvier woman. She has a very full face. She has jet black hair that comes down to her neck. And she looks to be about in her maybe late 30s, early 40s, hard to tell. She's starting to get just a slight few lines of crow's feet on the sides of her dark green eyes. She kind of takes a small look around. You can see her nose is scrunched up just slightly as she heads towards I'm going to just call it the meeting silo for right now. She heads towards the silo, and she enters. She looks at the three of you collected, and she says in a slightly nasally voice, she says, "My name is Abby Schuman. Are you the people I'm supposed to meet?"
Yes. My name is Tom, this is Al, and this is Patrick.
She gives a small nod, and she says, "Very well. Is it all right if my man here just stands outside? He won't be a part of the negotiations, but all Northern Gun representatives require some form of security. Is that fine by you?"
Of course. By all means.
All right. She looks over to the fellow, and she says, "Artur, you can stand just outside there. Are you guys armed at all, by the way?"
Tom isn't.
Okay.
In fact, I'm pretty sure we don't have body armor on.
Yeah, I don't think I would have body armor on. Let's see.
I've got magic.
I just need to know if you visibly have any weapons on you.
Not I.
I don't think I actually brought weapons.
No. Tyrath kind of just showed up and said, "Come with me." You guys didn't have a chance to really grab a lot of stuff.
Tom
Okay,
is lucky
I
he actually doesn't have pajamas on. That's how Tyrath showed up.
Yeah. But no, I just want to make sure because I don't want to tell your characters what they have. Be like, no, I had a secret derringer up my leg all the time. Look at my character sheet, DM. I'm like, okay, chill out. But I
No.
just had to double check.
Well, I was actually just thinking about looking at it. Al, in his outfit that he wore in space, had several of the ceramic knives hidden, like under his coat and stuff. So I guess if he was just told to go, he would have a few ceramic knives in his coat. And that'd be about it.
Okay, but they're not visible. They're inside his coat.
No,
right?
they'd be inside his coat. Yeah.
Okay.
And the fellow Artur, he gives you all a look over here real quick. I have to type roll. He gives a firm nod and he says, all right, I'll just be outside the door here. And the door stays open. And you can actually see his shadow cast across the entranceway to the door itself. But Abby sits herself down next to, we'll say, Patrick and across from Tom. And she'll, in her description, she was carrying a small case in her hands as well. A metallic box, for lack of a better word, with a handle on it. She sets the box down on the table itself. She rubs her hands together a little bit. And she says, all right, what did you folks manage to dig up this time?
All right. So this is what we're here to talk about, and Tom is going to plug in the hard drive and bring up the schematics. What it looks like is a stress monitor, and he'll start talking about its applications and uses, and eventually pause and ask in Technocan if she can understand Technocan.
She has her hands, like her fist on her chin as she's listening to you, and she replies in very broken Technocan, I prefer American, please. And she even mispronounces the American part wrong.
And then he'll just continue on, okay, fair enough. And this is, where we can find possible universability with operating systems and this and that and this and that. And
No, go ahead.
I would like him to start talking about possible uses, specifically in the example that I made for mercenaries, where if there is a medic, it would.
Can I pause you for a moment?
Yeah, sure.
Can I pause you for a moment? Because
Yeah.
I do understand, definitely for the interest of time, there's no point in you reiterating everything I told you about what this thing is, right? Yeah. But I would like to roleplay, so we'll narratively explain that away, right? Save us some time. But if it's okay by you, I would like to roleplay the conversation where it comes to talking about the applicability to it, if that's okay by you.
Yeah.
So she raises her hand a little bit once you're done explaining the specifications and exactly what she does. And she says in a small, curt tone, okay, assuming everything you're telling me is true and these schematics are correct, why would the Northern Gun want to purchase this? Why do you think the Northern Gun doesn't have something like this already?
Huh. Well, I don't really keep up to date with the latter question. I'm not that rich. I haven't sampled much new age, or not new age, but Northern Gun is known for.
Abby gives a smirk and she says, "Of course, if you were rich, you wouldn't be living here."
Yes, that is very true. But I don't really keep up to date with the Northern Gun because they're very innovative. Your company is very innovative, and that kind of thing. You very well could already have this, but I have a feeling that you don't, because the stuff that I have seen doesn't have this kind of application. The application where, monitoring stress levels is very important, especially important in mercenary and military situations.
Abby gives a bit of a raise in the eyebrow, and she says, I always thought the primary function of body armor was to protect the users from danger.
Oh yes, but it's also very important because body armor is used to protect. It's very hard to know what the body is doing at a moment's glance. It's really hard to tell if somebody is suffering an episode of PTSD. It's very hard to know.
She furrows her brow and she says, what is PTSD? Is that a disease?
Shit. 1 second, out of character.
And actually, honestly, I'm going to tell you in character, what medical skills you have? You have first aid, right?
No.
No, you don't even have that? So you learned PTSD.
I was just parroting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're parroting what Al says, right? So unfortunately, in character, Tom can't explain what PTSD is.
Mm-hmm. He'll kind of nudge Al in the ribs.
Al will go, PTSD is short for post-traumatic stress syndrome. It's a condition that many soldiers can experience when they have been in very stressful and violent situations. Nightmares, the shakes, things like that.
I see. She pauses for a moment, then she looks from Al to Tom, and she says, continue.
Ooh, out of character. I lost my place. Shit.
You're talking about how it could be useful for PTSD, monitoring
and
PTSD.
Military situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, going back to into character. Going back to what I was saying before,
yes.
A lot of this information could be extremely useful to medics, as my friend here has said. He is a doctor by nature, which is why I brought him along. But in a military and mercenary situation, he's gonna flounder a bit there and kind of misplace where he was again.
Okay, Abby says, and she leans back a little bit. So, in case they have some sort of problem or they have this PTSD, they need these stress monitors, right?
Yes.
And she gives a bit of a smirk and she says, I have to say I'm slightly impressed. Most people of Lacree just talk about their things very, very briefly and then immediately ask for credits. You're really selling this up, though, which makes me think that maybe there's more to this than I don't know, or there's less to this, and you're trying to, code over it with nice words. Let's get down to brass tacks. How about that? She takes a look at the schematics a little bit, and she says, I'm no technician, but it would be quite the investment if I were to purchase this bit of technology from you that you managed to dig up from God knows where. She looks down at the ground for a moment. Applying this would be very, very expensive, and we'd only need it for new models. So that would limit the price. You understand?
I understand that.
Okay. So understanding those restrictions, I can offer you... She pauses for a moment. 10,000 credits.
Uh, let's see. Patrick will will look at the schematic and go, "Is it incomplete?"
Who are you asking, buddy?
Uh, the the the
Abby.
lady.
Yeah. Abby responds with, "What do you mean?"
Oh, for a regular military program such as this would fetch, oh gosh, maybe 3-4 times that much.
Yes, yes, it was a fully functioning military program, but like I said, the compatibility issues itself, I don't know, it limits the technology.
There's no compatibility issues. If anything, this is more than universal. It can go into your toaster.
Really, she says. She takes a second look over the schematics itself. She kind of taps along the screen. And she's quiet for a good 2 minutes. I'm assuming no one says anything in that time.
Oh, nobody
And
says anything.
I'll clear
Alright.
his throat at some point. That's it.
And she says, "Okay, I stand corrected. As mentioned, I wasn't a technician. I wasn't aware of this little bit of code, these specifications. Okay, so it's universal, we'll say. Military, though," she says as she rubs the bottom of her plump lip.
If you want uses,
Mm-hmm.
we would not have the technology to specifically give you an example of such things, but I would assume that these would be extremely useful for a immediate medical injection, something that could be built within armor to give proper injections to specific things. Now, this can be medical, or in some special cases, people who need other injections to live. Something that the armor can be a mobile medic for such people, as well as, and Patrick looks down a bit before saying this, it also can be alerted that battle is erupting and could give boosts.
Huh. Like juicers, she says.
Yes.
Al very quietly.
No, go ahead.
Al very quietly says, "Actually, no. You go ahead and finish yours first, because Al's would be a completely different idea." So
Okay, alright. Abby says, "I did notice some mild comparisons between this monitoring device. It seems more thorough, but less... I guess it could be less invasive. We don't want to turn everyone who puts on a suit of our armor into a juicer. But, you know, modification here, an injection there. Using the feedback from this. Alright. I'll bite on that possibility."
Al would quietly at first say, "Beyond just military applications, this could be useful in employees' body armors, guards, escorts' body armors. Even someone like yourself could benefit from their guards and employees having such things.
Oh?
I'm sure you trust your guards now, but I'm sure there was a point where you didn't know them or trust them or felt unsure. Imagine if you ask your guard a question and suddenly their stress response rises. You could use this tool as a very simple means of predicting instability or problems within an organization."
She leans back. She crosses her arms. She looks at each of you very, very carefully, and then she looks to Tom and she says, I have clearance for 40,000 credits.
40,000.
Yes. Right here, right now. Cash money, I can transfer it over to you, easily possible, in exchange for this, she says as she points towards the device.
Tom will look at the other two.
Patrick is definitely not a businessman. He is quite content with that number, but he's not going to show anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't seem to be disappointed. He doesn't seem to be bringing anything up.
Al gives a very small. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but the face is like, good enough, to Tom.
And I will take it.
She says, good.
Yeah. He'll really quickly before we actually end this. It's just for the hard drive, not the actual computer, right? Because I'm actually borrowing this from a friend.
Yes, not a worry, she says. As long as, she says, everything that computer schematics, that computer shows is inside this device, we won't have any sort of problems.
Oh, no, of course not. The schematic is in the hard drive, not in the actual computer.
Would you be interested in a backup schematic just in case that get damaged on the way? It will cost you, though.
Wait a second. She gives a smirk and she says, when the Northern Gun buys technology, we expect it to be exclusive. We would not appreciate it if you already have a secondary copy someplace else to sell to a competitor.
Then Patrick will go into the computer, take the schematic, put it onto the stick, and hold it. This is the only other information.
But it just outlines what the program can do, not the program itself. The program itself is on that device, right?
Of course.
She takes her fingers and she grabs hold of the memory stick. She says, good. Do you let go of the memory stick?
No.
She gives it a little tug. And she says, oh, I see. 40,000 for the program, for what's on the hard drive, but extra for the schematics itself.
For exclusivity.
And there's the Lacree charm, she says. Okay, exclusivity. How much do you want to make sure Northern Gun's the only one who has this technology to ensure it?
Dude, this is all you, Piph. I don't...
Oh, Patrick knows exclusivity. Oh, he does. Of all of the things he knows.
He's his own little world.
He is. He has sold a few things, but he doesn't really know prices, but he does know how to negotiate when people want something.
Well, there you go.
Well, that is asking for quite a bit of... It's asking for quite a bit. I could easily sell this at 20,000. Now, that'd be ridiculous to sell you the same thing twice. How about 15,000?
14,000, she says.
Deal.
Okay. Do you let go of the
Yes.
the stick now? He says, "Good. I'll hold you to your word. If, however, the Northern Gun ever finds out that our competitors have this exact same technology and trace it back to Lacree, to say it will spoil our trade relationship is an understatement. Do you understand?"
We would never spoil such a fantastic service.
Of course, she gives a smile. Otherwise, where are we going to haul off all our garbage to? She opens up the metallic case that she's with, and it's like a very thick, it's almost more reminiscent of a toolbox than any sort of briefcase, right? She opens it up, and there's a small, square, computer-like device with a screen on it. She presses a few buttons. She looks over to Tom. She says, "I don't suppose you have a credit chip?"
Unfortunately, no.
Would the
He's gonna smile.
would the
Big, huge smile.
would the computer have such things?
No, it wouldn't, unfortunately. No. She says, "Very well. I'll sell you a credit stick for 500.
Tom will give Patrick a dirty, 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 dirty look.
Of course. Why would anyone think to bring a credit stick to a negotiation for money? Why
Who'da
would
thought?
we think these things?
I don't know. So 40,000 plus 14,000, take away 500. So she transfers onto a fresh, new, brand new Northern Gun. It actually has a little NG on the base of it, cred stick, to 53,500 credits. And she hands it over to Tom. And she says, and she takes the device, she puts it into her case, closes it up, locks it up, stands up, and she says, "Good doing business with you." And she walks out of the silo. So 15%, 53,500 means that your portion of the deal, you get just over 8,000 credits.
8,025. Yeah.
So, if it's okay by you, I'll narratively say you return over to Tobis Tan's residence. Tell her how everything went. Looks like you guys managed to get her a little bit more than her expectation. She's very, very pleased with the credits that she gets, that she's received. Happily hands over your 15%. And thanks you so much for the bottom of her heart of helping her out of this jam. And hopefully Abby Schuman will not be coming to Lacree anytime soon, and they'll get a better representative next time.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's kind of a butt.
I shall say, the information that we gave her, we agreed upon exclusivity. Though I don't think we trade with too many other people, it'd be best to have any other copies deleted and wiped.
Okay, she says. She gives a small shrug. I'll be sure to do that.
Okay.
Great. So you now have 8,000 credits right now. So make note of that.
Was our employer happy?
Yes, she was very happy. And Patrick informed her, be like, "This is an exclusive deal, so if you got any other copies, we better delete them." She's like, "Oh, okay." And that was pretty much it.
All right.
So congratulations, you managed to make yourself a cool $8,000, and you only had to deal with a minor bitch. So
She definitely was a
Alright.
minor bitch. If she was a major bitch, She would be like, "Give it over, gun."
She would have seen major bitch if she saw if she was dealing with a DB. Well, not major bitch, but she would not have been offering you 40 anything. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
So all right, Tom. Now you can go buy your girlfriend a carburetor. Fine.
Not a carburetor.
I know it's not.
Well,
So I think then for what you guys have planned, the only bit of business you have is actually Tom purchasing a gift, correct?
yes.
Is that right, Patrick and Al?
Yeah,
I want my
I think
hat
so.
back.
Yes, of course. Al would give the hat back immediately.
Okay.
I want my hat back.
Al even considered giving the hat back after the transaction was done, but before they left. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what are you thinking of getting your main squeeze there, Tom?
Well, I am interested in possibly trying to find some kind of fur coat or
Okay.
something like that. And
Okay. Mm-hmm.
if you guys would be interested in helping, maybe get some word of mouth going between Patrick and Al, trying to find somebody who is selling a fur coat.
Sure, I would like those of you who have Streetwise to roll Streetwise if you're going to help out Tom on this,
Here's a weird
crawl
question.
quest.
Do I get any pluses?
Yes. Yes, that's not a weird question at all. You're from this town.
Yeah.
You get a plus 30.
Okay.
Al does not have the wise of streets.
Yeah,
So.
I don't either.
I succeed by 18.
Excellent. So it takes asking around only for about an hour or so for you, Patrick. And you do know that a woman, she's known to you. She's around your age. Her name is Marlis Stotch. And Marlis Stotch has been bragging about this wonderful fox skin coat that she got 3 weeks ago.
Ooh. Is she willing to sell it?
Well, you'll have to find her. Oh, I guess I've been talking about this narratively speaking. You know what? Let's continue talking about this narratively. Well, I'll give you the option. We can talk about it kind of about it, or we can role play it. What would you prefer?
You know what? I'll roleplay it.
Okay. So, who wants to? Patrick knows where the Stotches live. Does anyone? Do we want this to be a solo venture on Tom's part?
Yeah, I think Al would probably want to stay by Nora just in case she suffers any ill effects or whatnot from the
Yeah.
thing that they suffered earlier. So Al would probably stay behind, but wish
Okay.
them luck.
Sure.
I'm cool
So,
with
Patrick,
Patrick staying with me again.
All right.
Patrick actually seems to be going through his own computer at this point and seems to be just looking like he's just reading.
Okay.
But if we want, Patrick can just give you general directions, Tom, and if you want to just make this solo. So, this lovely woman, Miss Stotch, Miss Marlis Stotch, she lives down by the east end, actually very close to the fishery and the water purifier. Not right next to it, but close by. And there's a big, I guess you could say like an oblong door, colored like a rusty orange color. And this one also has a small chime, and it gives a little tinging noise. And a woman comes to the door, and sure enough, she is brandishing this fur coat, this fox fur coat that was mentioned not too long ago. And she is probably about in her early 20s or so. All right. She has red hair, hair red enough to actually match her coat, bright blue eyes, small freckles on her cheeks. She gives a big grin, and it smells like, when she greets you, it smells like she's been drinking a little bit. Like, you definitely smell some sort of fermentation. And she leans on the edge of her doorway, and she says, "Hello, who are you?"
Hi, my name is Tom. I know this will sound weird and strange.
Oh, boy.
I heard.
Listen, she says, I know you probably heard some rumors, but I'm not single anymore, so it's okay. But I'm flattered, okay? I'm really flattered. And she kind of goes to start to, like, close the door.
No, wait, please. I was
What?
going to ask about your coat.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
Brucey got it for me. Brucey traded 3 weeks worth of work for this for me because he loves me so much. And she kind of gives a bit of a spin. But Brucey's jealous. Brucey isn't here now, but...
Why is Brucey jealous?
Because, she says, look at me. That's why you're here. But what? What about my coat?
Well, I was wondering if I could purchase it. If you'd be willing to sell it.
She says that she throws her head back and forth as she gives this really, actually, very ugly, scoffing look. And she says, buy it. Buy it. Oh, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy to separate this. Unless you're offering me far more than what Brucey spent on this. I'm going to start shutting this door right now. I'm going to start shutting it right now.
How much did he spend on it?
I told you, 3 weeks worth of work. And he works real hard.
All I have is 8,000 credits.
Did you say 8,000?
Yeah, 8,025 to be precise.
You want to buy my coat for 8,025 credits?
Yeah, in fact, my girlfriend would love it.
Am I prettier than your girlfriend? She says as she gives a toothy smile. Spoiler alert, she isn't.
Tom will try and dodge the question and ask about the code again.
No. You don't get to say I dodged the question. You have to dodge the question, motherfucker. You wanted to roleplay.
All right, fine.
I'll give you a moment.
Shit. God, I'm bad at this. Okay.
Blink. Well, practice, dude, and you're not that bad at all, so don't beat up yourself. Just let's have fun. This is fun.
I gotta try that too. Al shoots the guy.
Hey, I tanked hard on the selling of that stupid thing.
No, you didn't.
What are you talking about? We got 40 grand. Yeah.
Anyways, let's not talk about that. Don't be self-conscious. Don't be anything. Just look at this red-headed woman blinking her eyes at you with her big toothy grin, and her teeth are kind of crooked a little bit. And she says, am I prettier than your girl?
So about that coat,
I see, she says. Brucey wouldn't have gone up to some stranger's place. Spent 8,000. 8,000. Let me see, she says.
he'll show her the cred stick.
She looks at it, the little readout on it, verifying the account. She says, she kind of gives a bit of a pout, actually. She says, I'll sell it to you on one condition. If you had 8,000 credits, what would you... And you wanted to... Okay. Pretend you're Brucey, okay? And she starts to get little tears in her eyes. She says, and you got 8,000 credits. how would you spend that on me?
If I was Brucey and I had 8,000 credits, well, I'd find a way to get over to New Laszlo, where there is a really nice jewelry store, and get you something like that.
You can't, Jewel, she says as she starts to take off her. She has clothes underneath, by the way, but she's taking off her fox fur jacket.
A sapphire to match your eyes.
She kind of wipes away the small, teeny tear that was forming on her eye. She goes, "Really? Oh, you're sweet. Okay, give this to your girl. Give me that cred stick, though," she says as she makes a grab for it.
He'll just let her have the cred stick. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And have a nice day.
Okay, she says as she closes the door behind her. As you leave, you hear happy historical screams coming from behind your door that are around the line with 8,000 credits. Oh my god, I have 8,000 credits. You know, and so on and so forth. But she's kind of moving. So.
Oh man.
There you go.
Okay. That's good. I think I'm done.
It is a very nice fox-furred jacket, though. That's for sure. It looks very, very new too. Furs can sometimes, especially in the weather, they have to be, carefully protected, lest they, or treated at the very least. Mm-hmm. And this has done so. So there you go. All right. Okie dokie.
All I have is 8,000 credits.
Blink, 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 blink.
What?
Oh, done. Deal. 8,000. It's. Anywho. Anywho.
It's pretty funny. I was like, so we need to use the rest of that money to buy medicine now.
Patrick will actually go, that is a really nice coat. How much did it cost?
So remember when we had credits?
I remember a lot of times when we had credit.
Oh, right, yeah. Actually, I think we have credits back on the Behemoth still. Like 30,000 or something.
But you...
Yeah, the coat was 8,000. That's a fair price, right? It's a nice coat. I think Blake will love it.
Patrick will look at Tom and then actually, look over to Al. And then look back to Tom.
Patrick back and go and look at Tom and go. What?
Patrick will actually go, Al.
Did I not pay enough?
Al.
Do we need to do another job so I can pay her more?
Al and Tom, I should probably sit you down and explain how money works. The
Al will shake his head and say, Tom, do me a favor. Don't tell Nora how much you spent on that coat.
Oh, okay.
Al will just shake his head.
I want to highlight something out of character. Tom has been on his own since he was 13. He doesn't understand money.
I understand.
Really?
I guess.
Okay. If your character doesn't understand money, he doesn't understand money. Not a problem.
It's
Al makes mental note to go with Tom next time we shop for supplies for the group.
I mean, even then, back when Tom was in charge of the money, or whenever I made purchases, I made sure to overpay.
That happens often in this group.
Yeah, Patrick is just like you guys. I have to sit you guys down.
Don't know what you guys are talking
generous.
about.
You're supposed to try to get more money, not less.
5 million just for shits and giggles.
Yes. The difference is that wasn't because I don't understand money. That's because Al likes to grease wheels. Big difference there.
That's a lot. Your 5 million credits will get you a lot of grades. Anyway,
Didn't
I will
say
not.
he was an accountant.
I apologize. That was judgy. That was judgy, and I had to be neutral. But anywho, okay. So let's get back into the game now. What would you guys like to do next? Would you like to contact Tyra right away? Or is there anything last little bits you want to do, either narratively or roleplay here in Lacree?
I'm honestly good.
Okay.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
You have no more money, so I guess
have no money. I'm
option.
good.
Okay. How about you, Patrick?
Patrick seems to have gotten over the money situation fairly quickly.
Clearly. We can continue that. Actually, you're right. That bit of roleplay was preempted by... It slipped into out of character very quickly. So do you want to resume or finish that, or are you okay?
No, he's specifically just going to note that one of these days he's going to teach you a thing or two about prices and how you should work with money. Lesson 1, he's going to say this, like, before anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have more money by the end of a transaction. So when somebody asks you what price you want to try to have it low so you have that price. So you have more money after you buy it if you got it at the normal price. And if you sell something, you want it high so you get more. So the goal is to try to have more money left over whenever you try to buy or sell something.
I understand the whole getting a lot of money when you sell something, but I mean, she just asked me how much I had. Was I supposed to lie?
No. If she asks you how much are you willing to buy this coat, you think, how much is a really expensive coat? Then
I don't know. We've honestly been in space for like the last 5-6 months. Or
didn't you
something.
buy a coat? I'm almost positive you bought a coat back
In
at...
space?
No.
With IOUs?
Didn't you buy clothes back at somewhere around Greencastle?
Yeah. Fenton bought not a coat, but he bought a few. He bought some suit, or he tried to with a tailor before the
Right.
DB incident happened.
Right, yes, that happened. That was like almost a year ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So...
Okay, so I should have gone off of those prices.
To give you a rough idea how much it costs. Now, people's emotions and things like that, especially when not in a store, can be quite radical, but it is never... most people's wages are... How do I explain this? If you work here for... If you're a hard worker, you work full-time with someone, 30, 20... by the end of a week, you might be in the mid-thousand, like 500 or something like that. In a normal work. So giving somebody 8,000 is a few months' pay, if not closer to...
She said her boyfriend paid 3 months worth of wages.
3 weeks.
I'm going to just say Tom heard months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but I wanted to let you to know what the truth was.
Oh yeah, I know. That's
You can
fine.
lie to your friend, or you can lie to yourself. But I want you to know what she actually said. That's okay.
I honestly, me the player, honestly thought it was months.
Listen to me.
It's like,
That's all I ask you to do is listen.
I'm sorry.
Patrick will go.
It's a nice coat.
It's a nice coat.
I honestly think we're talking this coat to death now.
Yeah, we kind of are.
Are we good now? Can we just end the scene?
Yes. Patrick drops it.
First lesson.
Surprisingly.
First lesson is over.
Patrick just raises his hands and goes, "Fuck this." And leaves.
No, yeah, he'll just be like, "Oh boy."
Yeah.
Well, to be continued at a later date. All right, guys. So, what would you guys like to do next?
I think
Oh,
Tyra.
No.
Tyra. Oh God. Yeah. So yeah. Let's contact Tyra.
Wait, you were about to say something though.
Yeah. It can wait till after session. It's just a fun thing I wanted to let you guys know. We can wait till later.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, Patrick, is it fair to say that you are the one communicating with Tyra?
Yes.
Okay. You once again grab hold of the gem that Tyrath entrusted upon you, and it's a few moments before you hear his voice speaking in your mind, and he says, "You communicate to me again, kinsman. Are you ready?"
Yes, Tyrath.
This human that I will grant this boon for in your stead. Think upon him. Think upon his location. Think upon everything you know about this person and open your mind to me.
Right. He will generally think of name, location, and his own personal opinions of him, which follow a person who is very zealous but not very trusting. Yeah. As well as a person to that holds a lot of political, or not, just holds a lot of cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. After a small amount of time, as you think on this, Tyrath says, "Good. That should be sufficient. I will arrive at your location in a small while." And with that, the presence in your mind is lifted, and you are left with your own thoughts. I'm going to say, to set the scene of Tyrath's arrival, will be you'll be in the same place where you rested the night before. And I'm going to say that at this moment of time, Patrick, your parents are downstairs. They're not present when Tyrath arrives in a flash of purple light. Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think that after the communication with the Tyrath, Patrick does go to his parents and just like, "Hey, a friend of mine, the lizard mage Tyrath, is going to be visiting."
I don't even know what they might say. They're like, "Should we take out the new dishes?" No, just kidding. They wouldn't do that, right?
He likes to stand on top of tables. I'm sure that he mentioned that a few times.
Who, the Tyrath?
Tyrath likes to stand on tables.
Oh, during when he was regaling the stories. Yeah, sure.
Could we maybe move your coffee table up to Patrick's room, please? Would that be okay?
They look at each other, and Patrick's mom, Holly, says, "If that's what he wants, then I guess we should do that. This fellow seems powerful." Okay. And Patrick's dad helps Patrick move their coffee table to the
Al
Upstairs
has a
floor.
bemused expression the entire time.
Mhm. They do so, and after they set down the table, Patrick's parents are like, "Should we be here for this, or I mean, is there any danger involved?"
I don't believe there's too much danger. If you'd just like to say hello, I don't think you'd. He's an impatient man, but I don't think he would be too upset with just a greeting.
Oh, okay, they say, and they kind of shuffle on towards the door, but they stay there in the room. Um, about 45 minutes pass, in which we'll say you engage in some small talk. And when finally, suddenly, bright purple light flashes, reverberates throughout the room, reflects, the light itself reflects across the shiny walls and floor of this home. And Tyra emerges, slightly to the left of the coffee table. In a wonderful flowing blue vestment, small gems around his wrists. This 8 foot tall. Oh, wait, I hope he was 8 foot tall. I'm pretty sure he's 8 foot tall. Oh boy. This 8 foot tall, giant, lizard like creature looks around his abode. Well, this abode. He takes note of the two other humans in the room with him, but he doesn't say anything. And he soon rumbles from his scaly lips. "Are you prepared to go? I have scried the location of the person you seek."
Yes. I will mention that it seems that this planet has been given an ill omen. It seems to be projected to everyone, and those who have psychic sensitivity seems to have gotten fractions of the message. I feel that you'd want to know such information.
Tyrath leans over a little bit, very slowly, and his yellow eyes, his yellow slitted eyes, look towards Patrick, and he says, "Your appreciation, sorry, let's try that again. I appreciate your eagerness to share information with me, kinsman. But I know the fate of 100 worlds. Perhaps this is among them. Every moment of every second of every rotation of every sun in the galaxy has its share of triumphs and tribulations. What is one more spark in the chaos that is our universe?"
Patrick will actually look like he's deep in thought about this. If anybody else wants to speak up.
Holly and Vic give a nervous wave.
Al would say, "We don't know much, but if it threatens the world, wouldn't it threaten the places you normally do business with?"
Tyrath swivels his head to face towards Al and says, "The places I frequent would break your mind."
I think he's referring to Splin.
Splin can take care of itself, and if it cannot, it is not worthy of existence.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Almost at the same time.
Yeah. Al will say, then, and he kind of looks to Patrick.
He looks like he's like nodding at nothing. Like, he seems to be agreeing with the floor, the corner of the room.
Hmm. Interesting. Floor does not speak back. I know.
Rude.
Tyrath repeats his question. Are you prepared to leave?
Oh my gosh. May we retroactively do things within the 45 minutes, aka the two slaves?
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Holy
shit.
God.
Actually, okay. No. Let's talk about the slaves. It's because it's not just going to be 45 minutes. Because you guys have spent almost 2 days. It'll be almost 2 days because it's going to be evening of the second day here. And I'm going to let you know some things that happened in town, if that's okay by you guys. Kind of narratively talk around the slaves. So, the first, of course, is our good friend, or Nora's good friend, Jorgrill Brewbraid. Well, Jorgrill Brewbraid, although he didn't outstay his welcome, is not interested in the confines of the kinsman's home. So, of course, he goes out exploring, talking with people around the Creed, kind of getting a feel for this new area that he's in, right? Asking a lot of questions. He comes across a woman named Alfunda Strongriver. She was one of the contacts, one of the individuals you could have applied for, you could have approached for the job, the entertaining job, right? And Alfunda Strongriver is a she-dwarf, a single she-dwarf. And it appears Brewbraid has gotten himself quite smitten and is in an attempt. He's attempting to court her right now, although it is, you have absolutely no idea how well that is going. But suffice to say, he is content here in Lacree, at least for a little while. You would probably venture upon him a few times, and he would talk about how beautiful the name of Funda was, and how amazing it was to find another dwarf out here past the Crescent Sea, and so on and so forth. As for the other fellow, Silas, he's still extremely nervous, extremely worrisome. However, both Victor and Holly are very supportive of him, right? They've understood, you've given, during your tales and your stories of what happened, they understand that he was an ex-slave, right? Mm-hmm. And they're more than willing to open their home up as a temporary refuge for this man. They're more than willing to feed him and to educate him and to help him get his footing back, and either help him to go on his way, to journey about into the world, or find a place for him here in Lacree. That's what I had in mind with the NPCs. Now, of course, this trajectory that I spent both of them on could be altered a little bit by you guys if you want to retroactively throw in your few cents or your own suggestions here.
I'm fine with both of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good luck with Bluebraid.
Yeah, the Patrick will not spend too much time thinking about the dwarf, since he seems to be well on his own way and he feels that he can take care of himself.
Poor Ulfga. She has no idea what's in store for her.
Dwarves.
If you've ever seen a dwarven courting ritual, you know what I mean.
And the other one, he's particularly proud of his parents to be so open. But that's most of the emotions and things that he gets from both of those.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good. Anything else?
I would say out of character, I'd like to ask. So now, obviously, Tyrath isn't interested in helping us for his own causes because his own causes are way bigger than us.
So much cooler than ours, I know.
How do we want to go about how do we want to go about this? Like, okay, so Tyrath, yes, we're ready to go, but we need another favor. Like, that's just how are we gonna say that?
Well, I mean,
I think he can
guaranteed-
understand death and people not wanting to die.
yeah.
I hope so.
At least be generally understanding of, like, yes, you are more willing to do things in that situation. I can use this.
Okay, so like maybe go with it from a sense of like I know we've already made deals and we're making deals a lot, but we're worried that our people will die and this is something we care greatly about. So we're willing to make another deal type thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Pretty much those
Alrighty then.
exact words.
Well, Patrick, you are our Tyrath diplomat. So have
for the
fun.
sake of not being redundant, what Squee said.
Okay. Tyrath will turn around and he'll say, "We are allies. The days we do not help each other out in favors is a day we are no longer allies, correct?" He looks over to Kinsman for a response.
Patrick will shortly think about it and then go, I think doing favors for each other, as... Actually, no, that'd be more friendship. So yes, absolutely.
Good. He pauses for a moment and he says, "What is the favor you ask of me, so I may weigh an appropriate response?"
We are... Actually, pause for a second. So guys, the favor that we're going to get from the big man, how is that even going to be transferred, or is that like we're doing that and then just kind of going like, all of the things like that big ship that you have, whatever.
Well, I'm not quite sure I understand the question.
So, you know that like he offered the big ship that he was on as a general concept for a reward for this particular thing. Now, there's other rewards.
Oh, you mean the inside joke?
Yeah, he did say. I remember he said straight to Tom, "If you gave me a second lease on life, I would give you this entire ship." So I think what Piph is saying is, we don't know what reward we're getting, so how are we going to know what we're going to ask Tyrath to transfer back on Earth?
We're gonna have to ask. We're gonna have to ask after the negotiation between us and the Baron.
Right. Well, no, but here's the thing. So let's say, because I was thinking too, like, you know, he'd offer us the inside joke. That's great. We don't need something that big, especially if we're headed back to Earth.
Right.
We'd need something about the size of the Twilight. But hey, maybe he can get us a better version of it, something cooler. But here's the issue: we would then have to teleport to everyone on the ship, then teleport everyone off that ship onto the other ship, and then teleport that ship back to Earth. So it might be better for us just to say, a couple of things that we could take with us, like, I don't know, 7 suit of power armor or something, and the Rhapsody itself. That way, where everyone already is. That way, we just go there and then teleport everything there back to Earth.
So it's generally going to be the teleport for us to the Baron. Then the Baron and whatever else he's going to give us there, teleporting us to the ship. Then teleport the entirety of the ship back to Earth.
Right. Though technically teleporting us to the Baron and then from the Baron to the ship is already done. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes,
the
that's
only
part of the
deal
deal.
we'd
What's-
be asking for would be teleporting the ship and everything on it to Earth.
Well, and anything else that the Baron would
Right.
give us during the transaction.
Yeah.
Which
So pretty much
may
you
be
can
what-
you can try to estimate something to tell Tyrath now, so you know what his favor is now, or you can say we might have a favor for you in the future. Is okay if we ask you once we have it better in mind. That's pretty much your options, right? Unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, I mean, let's think for a second. I would absolutely love. I mean, look, the Twilight Covenant's a pretty cool ship, but if he's got a better ship about the same size,
I mean the Rhapsody.
the Raptor. Sorry, not the Twilight.
That's
Covenant.
okay. Twilight Covenant was a ship that you had,
Was
but
the
it
other
wasn't nearly as nice as the Rhapsody.
The Rhapsody's a nice ship, but what if he has like a super elite ship that he's willing to give us? So my thing is that's fantastic, unless it's too much work.
What I was thinking was, dude has a collection,
Yeah.
for one. Two, if you wanted a robot thing to sell, he's gonna need to give you that, and we're gonna need to transfer that as well.
Right. Though I could climb inside it and say, okay.
Let's
Let's
go. It's true.
This isn't answering the
I-
question though. Oh, I guess you
Yes.
guys are. Yeah. So
We're
do you
still
guys want to just hold off? Do you want to just? Okay, you're still brainstorming. My bad. Okay, I'll shut up. Then.
I personally think that our best bet is the Rhapsody because it's already customized to us. It's got a traction drive, which is like the best because it runs on electricity. That's
so
it.
we can still use it on Earth. We don't have to worry about weird fuel.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about ice and anything. We don't need to worry about fuel. Plus, it's already customized to us. Plus, we have a botanical bay and everything like that. Plus, we have all of this stuff that's already on the Rhapsody, which we
That's
requested.
true. And it's already got pretty nifty weapons and stuff on it too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
Mhm.
does. Plus, if we were to ask for a different ship, not only would it have to be retrofitted for us, it would have to take time and all of that. But if we were to get a bigger ship, we're a bigger target.
Well, yeah, we'll be a big enough target as it is with that ship. I was thinking
Yeah,
the same
exactly.
size ship, but yes, I agree with your logic is perfectly sound. That everything's already fit for us. The Rhapsody is fine. So yeah, I think we can just ask Tyrath that basically give him that rundown that we're going to go to the Baron, then teleport everything us and everything the Baron gives us to the Rhapsody, and then teleport the Rhapsody back to Earth.
Okay. Tyrath will respond and bring up a single scaled finger, and he'll say, as an exchange for my time and my magical power, I ask of one minor favor of you for me to approach you with in the future.
That sounds good to me.
So out of character, did he just say that he will ask us a favor, but not at this point in
Later.
time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not at this time.
It's
Got it.
pretty
Okay.
much you owe me one minor favor.
Okay, we will write him the IOU.
I will hold you to that. Good. Now that all future agreements have been settled, shall we resolve this one that you have worked so hard for?
Yes.
What did you do with the unicorn, perchance?
We a short back the unicorn that we purchased was a unicorn that we met previously. We have Patrick hesitates for a second. Befriended him, and we wanted to not see any ill will towards it, so we bought him and freed him.
Tyrath gives a slow blink of his serpentine eyes, and he says, I see. Prepare yourselves, gather around me. Say your farewells, for we will now leave this earth.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad.
Bye, Mr. and Mrs. Kinsman. It was a pleasure to meet you.
And of course, you get the obligatory, like, goodbye, we love you, be safe, we'll always be thinking of you, come back soon, be safe, you know, so on and so forth, right? But, you know, parents look upon you with proud wonder and a little tinge of anxiety as they watch their son and his friends disappear, the giant lizard mage, in a flash of purple light.
Could I have something happen right before that
Sure.
that flash of purple light? I want to say, "Oh, your parents are cool," and then
Okay. That works. So, once again, you get that lurching feeling as if you're about to go down a very fast roller coaster. Your stomach moving up into your throat, but only for a few seconds. As your environment around you changes rapidly. You are once again in the great meeting hall / display room of Baron Dioxin. The wooded paneled walls, the displays of relic, both new and old, the furniture, the cameras, the not fireplace, but the high chair that the Baron typically sits upon, and the benches, not the benches, and the couches, the fine couches that are lined around it, all come into view. The Baron is there currently. The Baron is there with 4 other individuals who you do not recognize, and they all stand agape as you appear out of nowhere. Even the Baron, his incredibly ancient, thin-skinned, cloudy-eyed visage, has a look of utter shock upon it.
hi.
I like that. I just do that.
The 3 individuals, other than the Baron, who is still in his seat, the other 3 individuals all stand up. You can see they are wearing black and white uniform-esques. No, sorry, 2 of them are wearing black and white uniform-esque, very similar to some of the network employees, network individuals who are on the Minor Innocence and the Razor's Kiss. One of them is in what appears to be just standard spacer clothes that you've seen some freebooters wear. They all stand up and they all grab for weapons. No, not weapons. They would not come into this meeting with weapons, Inferno. What's the matter with you? They all stand up with a start. And one of them, a woman, begins to standard, security?
Al
And
would
the
hold.
Baron begins to fidget for his control panel by his arm of his chair.
Al will hold up his hands and say, "We are not here to cause any harm. We are here to fulfill a deal we had with the...
Oh, Baron raises his hand for a second. His metallic, crisp voice says, "Enough. Eve, Leopold, Elmond, leave us now." But the Baron, leave us now. They're pointing agape at Tyrath, and the one of the men, Leopold, sputters, "Could contain. It's demon." And the Baron says, "Get out now, or suffer the consequences." As if their feet are in quicksand, they move, but they edge around you as if you were radioactive. And although their eyes from time to time flit upon Tom, upon Patrick, upon Al, upon Mila, most of them are just staring at Tyrath as eventually they make their way out of the room. The Baron brings his cloudy eyes over to your group and he says, "This is he?"
Mm-hmm.
"The being who will grant me a new life."
An extension on this life, to be more precise.
"What do I call you, oh great? Good." And Tyrath gives a small huff through his nostrils as he says, "Those of your tongue call me Tyrath. That is sufficient. I am immortal. I am infallible. I am undying." The Baron quivers a little bit. He is far from the confident, meticulous nature that you had him before. His left hand quakes quite a bit. And he says, I see. What do you need of me?" Do you guys want to jump in here, or do you want Tyrath to answer?
No, I think actually this would be more appropriate to leave between those two for now, unless they need something from us. Yeah.
Oh, we'll find out soon enough. And Tyrath will say, "A new vessel for your mind. I will transfer your essence, your mental capabilities into a new body. Unless I am mistaken, and that is what you wish." The Baron just gives a slow nod. He says, "A body, I understand. I understand. Any body?" Tyrath gives a shrug of his shoulders. He says, "I care not." "I see. How much time do I have to acquire such a thing?" Tyrath blinks dismissively as he says, "Time means nothing to me. Them," and he gestures towards you, "inform them when your vessel is ready. They will contact me, and I will conduct the ritual and give you And he kind of gives a small lift of his lip. A new life. And with that, Tyrath disappears as fast as he appeared. Ozone spreading through the air, the purple flash, and you are now alone with the Baron. You see on his thin, white-colored skin, sweat forming on his brow, as he says to you, I'm afraid I made a grave error in underestimating your contact. I had some certainty that you were embellishing what you told me. But I see that people from Earth have powerful friends. And here I thought I would be that powerful friend to you. But I see you've shown me up.
Al would go, well, now there's no reason to start judging one powerful friend over another.
He does not smile. He just raises his bread and he says, well, I cannot do what that thing can do. I could ask you 100 questions about this Tyrath, but instead, let us complete our negotiations. Now, I am clearly dealing with forces that I do not understand. I'm putting trust into beings I've only met. I have to now control my own house. And unfortunately, he says, the 3 individuals I was dealing with will have to be taken care of too. But such is the way of things. Shall we negotiate now? How about this? We negotiate for your prize, but it is not delivered until I am in that new form, until I feel that I have not been tricked or deceived or trapped or killed. Goodness knows this could be some horrible ruse of yours to get rid of me and to usurp my position. And if that is the case, I assure you, I have earned every scrap of power I got, and you will not usurp it from me very easily.
We have no wish for that. What you ask sounds reasonable. How long would you need to understand? He says vessel. Let me be very clear. He is going to take someone and end their life and transfer your consciousness into their body.
Mm-hmm.
It would probably be beneficial to find someone who deserves to have their life removed.
Mm-hmm.
The Baron thinks for a while. He leans back in his chair. He looks across you and his eyes fall on Mila. He stares at her and he says, yes, new vessel. Young and strong. Perhaps. He kind of gives a bemused smile. And he says, assuming I don't get a second chance like this, it would be nice, he says. Longer life expectancy, strong, young, vibrant, the ability to produce life. Yes. I'll take your advice into consideration.
I am growing very concerned out of character.
Did you not think of this?
Huh?
That he would be like, I'm going to be devious in who I pick.
Oh gosh, no!
Mhm.
I was just honestly, I was just thinking he was thinking about being a woman this time. I didn't think
Yeah.
he was actually thinking about
Oh,
Mila.
okay.
Mhm.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
interpret it as you will, frankly.
Personally, I was just like, he wants to be a girl.
I
But
did not think specifically Mila, because God, you don't want to piss off the group that has like.
Oh my God. Right.
yep.
I would say, I doubt it would matter to you much to go into the details, but things have happened that may put people we care about in jeopardy. It is fair for us to wait, but how long?
Baron pauses for a moment. He says, "I'll then need the night to reflect on exactly whom I want. As beneficial as it is, it would be odd being a baroness. Be strange enough to explaining my new everything else. I need to make the proper precautions. Let's just say, and to dwell upon
Would it
my new
be
form."
would it be safe then to conduct our negotiations and start preparing such a trade so that everything can be done and ready at the same time? When you receive your end of the bargain, ours will be ready as well.
Depends on exactly what you ask, but that seems feasible. I make up my mind very quickly. Being ponderous and lethargic is for unsuccessful people. I would only need the evening to reflect my possibilities. But you're right. A new body. I did make bold proclamations before, and I stand by them.
Mhm.
So let us talk about what you want in return.
Okay, add a character, guys.
Mhm.
Here's all that Al is really interested. Now, obviously, like, okay, we could ask probably for quite a bit. If he was willing to give us this ship, and all we're asking right now is for the Rhapsody, that is a huge undercut. So, all I'm interested in right now that I can think of would, of course, be one of the fancy schmancy Power Boy armors, so that I could then go sell it and get something I actually care about. Yeah. But what else would we want? I mean, like I said, if he was willing to give us the inside joke, we should have some sort of credit here.
Oh, crap. Speaking of, I should send you guys over to the inside joke. Duh.
Yeah.
I got too busy with...
Actually,
all that.
off the top of my mind, I would actually be interested in another Mark V as well. The reason being so that Blink could have one.
Oh, yeah, she is skilled in that, isn't she?
Bugs.
Bugs. No, we want no bugs.
Oh God, no!
You get bugs. Free bugs.
They're everywhere. So the ship and all the accoutrements on it, the not the inside joke, the one that's currently still flying back.
Yeah.
And the I guess 2 of those robot things. Personally, I want some really neat things from his collection.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That is something that, like, it's weird, because when you think, like, you can have the inside joke, wouldn't that include most of the things inside of it? But I'm sure that he would be like, no, these are personal things, and move them. So I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. I could definitely see possibly taking a few minor, depending on what he's able to part with, a few of the magical items. I kind of want to have Tom ask for his guitar back.
Guitar?
Yeah,
Back?
the acoustic guitar that he sold to the Baron. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
We could have some of our stuff that we sold back, if we want.
We sold to the Baron. I thought we sold to what's his face on.
Yeah,
on behalf of the Baron
on
to
the behalf of the
network.
Baron.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all of our
that's
stuff
fair
is
enough.
on this ship.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
That we
got it.
sold.
Okay. And here's another idea as well. Like, okay, obviously magical stuff he's going to be loath to give away, but what about some really neat high-tech stuff we wouldn't find on Earth that we would find up here? The only thing is, I don't know what those would be. But
Well,
maybe...
That's what will require some, especially the magical artifacts and the really high tech stuff. We will have to do, we'll say, kind of for lack of a better word, a retroactive favor. So,
Sure.
although we can't really negotiate it, the specifics right now, right? What I can do, especially because there'll be a little bit more time because I'm going to be gone on vacation for the next few weeks. But I can easily give you guys something more specific that you can really sink your teeth into, right?
Oh, and then we could do something like here's a list, choose 5, and that way we're sure of the relative value.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So in this negotiation in character, we can speak in general terms and get the specifics in between the sessions.
Yeah.
Sound good?
to me.
So, yeah. So as far as specifics are involved, the power armor is all that I can think of right now that we wouldn't find on the list. And of course, and the Rhapsody, obviously.
Obviously.
Oh, I got one too.
What?
This is actually going to help our friend Killian out. We want the recording equipment and all the video recordings that he took of us on the Rhapsody.
How
Now,
would we
they're
do
all
this?
gone. We'll tell him we saw them. We found them out. What does he take us for?
Oh yeah, true. True, we could negotiate it first and just
And here's the thing.
have a
and
message
here's the thing.
to Killian.
Exactly. And the thing is, we know they're already gone, but he said that he's going to get into some trouble trying to explain this away. We say we're taking them, getting Killian off the hook.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I don't care if that reduces our gain. I want that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think as a final, cherry on top, we should have a visual recording of the Baron, stating that this has been conducted. The Rhapsody is now ours. They are free to go.
Well, that and official paperwork, etc. Yes.
Yeah, etc. So
Yeah.
then when we get to the Rhapsody, we can just go, hey guys, we need to have a little meeting, talk to Killian, show him everything, and go, it's been fun. Catch you later.
Yes. It's been a blast. We're taking the ship. Bye-bye now. Oh, and by the way, the videos, you're off the hook. Don't worry about it.
I have a
Got your back.
question for you two, and maybe I missed this. Did we talk to Tyrath and going like, you're going to be teleporting a spaceship? Was that a thing that
Yes.
we discussed?
We did say that, yes.
Yes, we did say that. And that was, in return, is going to be the favor he will ask us at some later date.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Man, this sounds perfect.
Okay.
Hey, if Yoda
Shall
can
we-
move a spaceship, why can't he?
I'm not gonna lie. I do kind of want to roleplay this if that's okay.
Sure. Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Al would, I guess, sit down and go.
Yeah.
Well-
He'll. Of course, you guys can sit down across from him, definitely in a different light than when you last went on the Mars expedition, and his left few fingers are still jittering a little bit as he looks at you and he licks his thin liver-colored lips as he peers at you.
Al will say, well, there are a few things we've thought about. You once said that you'd give us the inside joke. We don't want anything quite so luxurious or enormous. What we'd be interested in would be the Rhapsody.
Done.
It's already tailored to fit our needs.
Done.
We would also like 2 sets of the Mark V Glitter Boy armor.
He pauses for a moment. Done.
And then And then we could kind of get into the general terms of
Mm-hmm.
this and that. And at some point, I would go, and before I forget, we want all of the recording surveillance devices and tapes made of us during our journey, the ones that you didn't know we knew about. We want to keep those.
Ah, found out about those. Hopefully, there's no hard feelings about that.
There were, but time heals wounds.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
money.
Yes, and money.
Done, he says. Now, let's not gloss over too much over the general bits and bobs, all right? Let's put a number on this, okay? Let's negotiate. If you're interested in his artifacts, how does 4 of his artifacts and 6 pieces of high-tech merchandise sound to you guys? As a
That sounds
negotiation
perfect to me.
Can't see me, but I'm smiling.
tactic? 4 and 6, okay. Sound good to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I would like to request one last thing.
Okay.
I know this is an odd request, but I sold you an acoustic guitar made of wood. Could I possibly have that back?
He gives a relieved laugh with a small robotic tinge to it and says, "A new life for guitar. How fucking poetic." Yes, of course.
Al will also say, this one I'm not sure how exactly would be best to go about it, so let me simply just put it this way. I have a vested interest in a clinic on Outcast Station. It is more of an orphanage, but it is a safe haven and medical center for anyone who can't afford it. They are constantly abused and hounded by anyone who sees fit to steal their stuff simply because they can't protect themselves. Would it be within your capabilities to protect them and give them actual supplies to become an actual medical facility?
The Baron says, "You might not be aware of this, but a while back, a ways back, I tried to make a run for Outcast Station, but turned out to be an incredible ice sink. Complete. It's not worth the investment whatsoever. And our business there is minimal to reflect how much the station itself is worth. If we were to supply this clinic of yours, I would have to up my presence, you see. I'd have to ensure the transportation gets there without being stolen. Possible. I'd have to make sure the goods stay there and not be stolen. Possible. I'd have to make sure the gangs leave the area alone. Possible. But all of these increase the network's profile. All of these bring much more trouble for me in the long run.
Then perhaps a compromise. Perhaps the clinic just receives a discreet package once a month or so with needed medical supplies. If it's stolen, it's stolen. If it doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. But the attempt was made.
For how long?
Al shrugs. You don't want my honest answer on that, so let's be diplomatic. As long as you're willing.
As long as I'm willing. How about this? For as long as my new body sustains me.
I think that's a fair deal indeed.
Done. May I remind you? Once again. You are indeed powerful. Or, at the very least, have powerful friends. but I have spun a web up here for 140 years. If this is an attempt to take my empire, you will find it a very unwieldy beast. But I think everything that we negotiated, and the possibilities, and the things I've seen, is worth the risk. So, the quarters that I had made for you 4.5 months back are still there. I ask you, rest there. Allow me to reflect on my new vessel, he says with a bit of a smile, and begin to set the wheels in motion for your much-deserved prize.
Al would nod and he would say, as for the vessel, in my personal experience, the closer it is to non-mutant, to your original form, the easier it is. I didn't always, and he kind of flicks his ears. It can be jarring.
I see. So, perhaps it wouldn't be wise, he mumbles to himself. You're right, a smooth transition is always best. In business, and perhaps with this, he says.
He nods, and then he says, though I guess to counterbalance it, how many opportunities do you get to do such a thing? We will let you think, and I will take your gracious hospitality.
Good, he says. If everything goes as planned, my decision for that expedition years and years and years ago proved very profitable in the end, regardless of your requests.
Oh.
Rest well. If you need anything, do not hesitate to ask. So,
I think that was just my chair creaking.
Oh, okay. So, honestly, unless there's anything, I'm sure Al is gonna get just all the Star Kabosu in his mouth. But
What? No, what? Yeah.
no, but other than that, I mean, you guys are familiar with the facilities that the inside joke grants you, yes. And honestly, I have no specific scenes until the next day. If you are, but I want to put it in your court first.
Patrick is going to do one thing. While he's in his room, he's actually going to check around for those tiny cameras.
Roll me a D100.
Okay.
Got an 88?
Yep.
You're familiar with what the cameras look like. At least the ones that they looked like on the Rhapsody. You actually got a pretty intimate look on them. You can't find anything similar in your room.
I will take a different approach and just assume they're there and not do anything.
No. Patrick thinks he's there. He just wants to find them.
I see.
And I'm pretty sure Tom's going to think they're there, but he's not going to care. What he's going to do is he's going to watch some movies in his room, accessing the database.
Excellent. Good stuff. Anything else from you guys?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I think I'm good.
When you get up in the morning and you make your way back towards the Baron's abode, you're able to hear a small rumor passing on because, of course, you're escorted, right? And the individuals escorting you, they're not too concerned about you. This is kind of business as usual. In fact, one of them recognizes you. He's was on the same detail. And they talk back and forth with each other, these two escorts. Now we're escorts, and they say, "Damn thing. Fire just came out of nowhere. In Port 3. Fried him alive. God, I'm glad I wasn't stuck in there. Jeez. What a mess. Do you hear that Marcus is the one that had to fucking clean that up? Oh my God. Burned flesh. I can never get used to the smell of burnt flesh. No, me neither. Oh well, good thing we got this." And then they kind of look towards you and they kind of give a bit of a smile and continue on their way. Get back. Well, Baron can't let anyone know that there was a fucking lizard mage somewhere, right? Anywho, you are met. Oh, give me a moment. Actually, I just gotta look at one little tiny thing. Oh my God, I've been going through these. I've been going through these names like hotcakes. Delicious. Hotcakes.
Yummy.
And now I've opened the wrong thing. Sorry, guys. I want to set the scene properly.
Oh my God, these aren't hotcakes at all.
Gregory.
Oopsie.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
Happy Valentine's Day.
So you get back. You're back at the Baron's place. It has been approximately 18 hours since your last meeting. And when you get back when you enter the room, the guards stand outside, of course, as they always do. They ensure that you are, now here's an important thing. They are going to search you for weapons. So the question is, Al, are you going to try to conceal your ceramic daggers, or are you going to hand them over?
Oh God, no! At this point in the game, he's not going to screw everything up by trying to conceal some daggers.
Okay, good.
Gotta let him go.
So yeah, so you relinquish them. They give you all a quick pat down regardless. Don't find anything.
They are going to find something, Patrick. He's got really hard skin. That's odd.
Okay.
What?
I don't know if you're insinuating something.
No. Well, they're all right. So basically, when they feel around, they're going to feel a fairly hard chest and a few other places that are much, much harder than others. Like,
Are you talking about your cybernetics?
yeah,
Okay, all right, not a problem.
I have external cybernetic plating.
I used to
Armor.
have
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, and then you switched
used to
bodies,
have
and then you burnt it. So whose
Yeah.
fault is that? All right. Anywho, ooh, my headphones almost got ripped off my head. Can you hear me? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So you enter the room without any sort of weapons or anything like that. They actually, interestingly enough, when they're familiar with, maybe not that style of cyber armor, but they're familiar with that type of thing, so that you don't raise any eyebrows there, Patrick.
Okay.
But you enter the room, and you see by the coffee table, the clear coffee table that sometimes doubles as a holographic projection. Upon it is a wonderful big green bottle, huge green bottle, about 3 times the size of a wine bottle, on the table with 6 glasses on it. You see the Baron there in his chair, comfortable, relaxing. He's much more composed when you saw him last. And across from him, you see another individual. He has auburn-colored hair. He looks young, probably in his late or early teens. You're thinking maybe 16, 17 or so. He is dressed, well, you've been on Freedom Station, so you would kind of know the style of modern dress that they wear. And so it's reminiscent of a Freedom Station individual. He has stark, bright blue eyes, a very chiseled jaw, very short nose, And he's kind of looking. When he hears the door open, he looks around with a bit of a start. He sees you, and he kind of gives you guys an eye up and down a little bit. The Baron kind of raises his hand. He says, "Don't worry, Vernon. These are my friends. We're going to have a little meeting together. We're going to drink some wine here and talk about the future." He gives a small smile. "Come in now. Come in, Tom. Come in, Patrick and Mila. Have a seat. I figured before we get all this beginning, we'd have ourselves a drink. Calm the nerves." And he looks over to Vernon.
What does Vernon do?
Vernon gives once again, one more glance to you guys, and he takes a glance at the bottle, and he takes a look at the Baron, and he says, "All right, fine by me. Maybe you could explain what this, meeting's all about, why I'm here." Baron raises his hand and goes, "Of course, in time. But let's get to know each other a little bit first." Vernon says, "Oh, okay. I guess I could use a drink." Good. He looks to you but 3 PCs right now, expectedly.
Al just sits down.
Yeah, Tom will sit down as well.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Baron looks to Tom and he says, "You have to excuse me. A good host should be the one to serve the refreshments, but I'm not, as you can see. I like to limit my physical activity due to my advanced age. Would you be so kind as to pour the refreshments for me? And pardon my slight in my hosting duties."
Yeah, no worries. And Tom will get up and start pouring glasses.
Okay, all right. I hand them one by one. And if you guys choose to drink, you would... Vernon takes his glass very carefully, and the Baron takes his cup very, very gently, very carefully, brings it to his lips as he stares at Vernon for a long time as he takes a long drink and then sets it back down on the table. But if you yourselves partake in the beverage, you'll find to be a very fruity hello no a very has it's clearly some form of berry extract, right? Of course, David, it's wine. Jesus. But well, sorry, it has more of it's hard to place. Imagine if a strawberry and a raspberry and like a melon had a sexy 3-way, and then you made wine from that. That's what it would taste like.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I know, eh? Especially for the melon, if you know what I mean. But no, that's the general ambiance of the wine itself.
Patrick would probably take a sip of it and then put it down and not drink anymore.
Okay. The Vernon, the young man, kind of looks to each of you, a little bit, and he's not really one much for conversation. So the Baron starts off and he says, "How did you all sleep? Well, I hope."
Yeah, I kind of stayed up a tad bit too late watching some movies.
Ah. Yes, I keep forgetting that we have the luxury of such things up here. Anything that you recognize from down on Earth. And the second the Baron says Earth, Vernon, his eyes widen. Like suddenly, like he sits up, like he's just been shocked. But the Baron doesn't seem all that concerned at all.
There were a few. One that we actually talked to Killian about a while ago back on Mars. The Exorcist. It's really good. Ended up rewatching it.
I'll have to take your word on it. I didn't typically have time to waste on movies. I had so much more important things to do, but now perhaps I'll have some extra time on my hands. I might spoil myself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Vernon. I'm afraid I misled you a little bit. There is one more guest that'll be coming to this little function of ours. If you pardon me. He looks over to Al, Patrick, and Tom. You may summon him now.
Patrick will go, and then he will, sure he's still wearing this thing. We'll summon, we'll speak to Tyrath, excuse me. We'll speak to Tyrath.
Tyrath's voice enters your mind, gives the affirmative that you are ready, and he emerges, suddenly, without warning. Just behind you for a moment. You can smell the ozone, you can see the flash of light. And Vernon looks behind him, and he pauses. His eyes are so wide, you swear they might roll out of his head. And, Al, you've seen, in fact, in a few cases, you've injected a paralyzing agent in a person, and even they are not nearly as stiff and as rigid as Vernon is right now. By the way, typically, I get a little frumpy when I'm interrupted with my descriptions and whatnot. But I'm going to make an exception for this case. I'm going to continue things as they are, and you have carte blanche. You can interrupt me whenever you like. Sound good?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Sorry. Okay, just to let you know, because a lot of times I'm like, don't interrupt me, we'll retroactive this. I'm waiving that for right now. Tyrath says nothing as he plods his scaly feet towards the space in between where the Baron is seated and you 5 are. He looks to the Baron. He swivels his head to Vernon. The kid just giving just this tiny wheeze of a gasp as he is agape at the lizard mage. Baron looks to Vernon, looks to the Baron, looks to you, and he says, "This is the vessel." And the Baron gives a nod. Tyrath reaches into his blue vestment and pulls out a small black gem, as dark as space itself. He begins to move towards Vernon. He gets a few feet away before the young man snaps out of his paralysis. And he clutches the person to his left, who I'm going to say is Al. He clutches your shoulder, Al, and his fingers dig into it as he is throwing himself back to the back of the couch, trying to get away from this thing. As he yells out, "What's going on? What are you doing?" Tyra.
Al would very calmly look at the Baron and say, "What was his crime?"
The Baron looks to Al and says, "None." Tyrath moves towards. Do you want me to pause for a moment?
I do need you to pause because I need to go out of character. Are we as a group okay with this?
You had to ask that question, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I know.
Patrick was just going to be like, this. We told him to get a person that was generally like not of good heart and somebody who is young and things like that. I'm sure that he actually did exactly what he was generally informed to do.
And here's my thing, guys. I tried so hard, but Al wouldn't be that naive. Like, I was like, man, I could just say, oh yeah, Al had already told him to. Maybe Al would just trust it even. No, Al wouldn't.
I know Patrick is, but now he knows.
I know.
Well,
Now you complicated things.
Here's the thing. Going into this, we already kind of knew that this is an eventuality that would probably happen. We're kind of pretty much making a deal with the devil because he is the leader of a shadow organization that regularly assassinates people. He's the leader of the mob. I pretty much knew that he was just gonna pick some.
I know that as a player.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't a part of the group, I would have gone with it.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we have to play our characters.
I
Would
know.
our characters be willing to take all of this over an innocent person's life?
And that is the question, isn't it?
See, and
Well-
here's the thing. Even if we just, like, you need to find somebody else that's a bit more whatever, this guy's still going to die.
Yeah. Either way, he's going to die, and I'm not sure
No.
that wasting Tyrath's time is the best idea.
Okay. Counter note: I'm not sure that I will tell you guys right now. I, as a player, love this stuff and probably could have let it slide. Al fundamentally would fight all of you to protect an innocent's life.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what freaking Patrick's gonna do. It's gonna be a while. Excuse me.
Let me put it this way: this is not acceptable to Al, even if you offered him 100 inside jokes. We're gonna have to find a way to rectify that. Will the guy die? He doesn't have to die.
See,
We
okay.
could
He-
make it
dude,
a deal to take him
he-
with us to Earth.
He's seen Tyrath,
So
and the
lots of
last
have
people
seen
to
Tyra.
see. Well, the last person, the person that I expected the Baron to take over, we heard died in a fire not too long ago because
was too
she
old.
saw Tyrath.
All right. Look,
Nothing.
but look at it this way. Look at it this way. What the Baron wants, he wants too desperately. We say no. You find a criminal, and this kid comes with us, or this deal is off, and we will tell Tyrath to give the boon to us instead. Period. End of story. What's he going to do? He knows that he doesn't get this unless we say so.
I don't know, man.
You bring up an excellent point, and if you do that out of character, I full-heartedly support that. Still trying to figure out what Patrick's going to do about all this. You can
Okay,
you can
Vern-
continue to talk if
Vern,
you'd like.
Let me,
Vern,
let
I gotta
me-
ask you.
Let me just explain, just really quickly. Like, going into this, both myself and Tom would have been like, going into this, he would know that this is probably going to be an eventuality, and this is probably, as long as he doesn't choose any of the group, he's fine with it.
So wait. So Tom is
Tom's
okay
killed-
murdering innocent people to get stuff?
Oh my god, this is the same argument that we've gone on to like 3 times now. Yes.
Actually, we've never had this
Yeah.
argument before.
Tom has murdered people before.
Not
He's
innocent
okay
people.
with it. Yes, he has.
Name
You
one
could-
innocent person
could
who has offered him
argue-
no danger or threat.
You could argue that, well, not danger or threat, but you could
That-
argue
that's my point,
Elizabeth.
though.
You could argue Elizabeth. Probably.
No, you couldn't. She
Hmm.
offered us danger and threat. Look, I'm not trying to tell you how to play a character at all. I'm just very surprised that Tom is willing to kill innocents to get stuff. This is
Just
not.
like he was-
So be it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just like he was willing to kill fucking August back when he felt that he was what do you call it? Threatening his dog.
I guess.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm
guess it's something we'll...
really willing to go along with it because we already summoned Tyrath, number one. Number two, we really want to get back to Earth. In order to get back to Earth, we need the Baron to okay taking the Rhapsody. Otherwise, the other ships, when we go to the Rhapsody, are going to be mad at us. If we possibly rustle the feathers of the Baron, we might not get any of those magical items, or a lot less, or whatever. We might want to just leave and then steal the ship. Or, I mean,
I need to be very, very careful about this because let's put it this way. If Al ever knew that Tom was okay murdering innocents just to get things, he might leave the group. Seriously. I don't think Al could stand living with someone who is...
Hold up.
No, serious. No, I'm not saying that I as a player am leaving. I'm saying that this is an issue.
Okay. All right. Fine. It's an issue. The morality is an issue. Okay. But listen, I'm not even going to regret this. I don't regret this at all. Okay. But we have the standard. There are, as Spoonie, the great Spoonie one himself once said, what are you going to do with the orc women and babies? Right? In the fantasy trope. You kill all the bad, evil orcs, now you got the orc babies. Some want to kill them, some want to let them go. Right? Same thing. We have ourselves a moral dilemma. Right? So, but here's the important thing. I trust that you guys can suss this out. You are mature enough and you're clever enough to do so. And the only thing I ask is that you don't break up the team. You come up with a compromise, or you come up with a decision where everyone is happy. Because when you said that, Squee, that was a little concerning. I wouldn't be with this group.
Finish.
Okay.
You didn't let me finish. You interrupted me.
Go ahead and finish, then.
The point I was making was, whatever we do, we can't let Al learn that about Tom. That's all that needs to happen. Is that, I mean, Al's gone this far without knowing that was a thing Tom would do. All we have to do is make sure that Al doesn't find out, or at least doesn't find out in this kind of manner or way. You know what I mean? Like such a bombshell type thing. I wasn't saying that I'm throwing the table, I'm flipping the table. I'm saying that we as players are going to have to find a way to work together to make the characters work, because those are two very fundamental different viewpoints.
well, I mean, I was just going to have Tom not react.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. I mean, here's the tricky part. I don't want to limit you as a player either. So, like, I didn't want you to just go along with it if you as a player were not okay with it.
With all due respect, though, Squee, you just gave Burn an impossible proposition. I want you to play in character, but if your character is too evil, my character is going to leave the group. Then
that's not what I said, Inferno. That's not what I said at all.
But that's the implication.
Because
sorry,
you interrupted
my
me
character
halfway
should
through.
know about that.
You interrupted me halfway through. If you had let me finish, there wouldn't have been given such an implication.
Guys, let's just
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
We're going to step back because,
let's
frankly,
work.
this distance.
Let's sit back. There
Yeah.
was never intended to be given any implication that I am forcing anyone's hand in anything. I was simply putting out that this is something that needs to be handled with care.
Yeah. And I'll handle it with care by not reacting, or I'll play Tom in character, but Tom will have seen this coming and checked it off in the back of his mind because he knew that this guy was a dick. And he equated a long time ago that this is basically the coalition of space.
Okay.
They're
Then
both
the only
a
thing we
bunch
have
of
to figure out
assholes.
is, let's say Al does this, right? Let's say Baron doesn't go for it, and Baron says, no, this or deal is off. As players, what do we do then? Or is that something we should just cross when we get there?
Oh,
That would be hilarious.
That would be crazy.
That would be the funniest thing. Or just the Baron going like, oh, excuse me, we're either doing this body or no deal. And you're just like, really? Seriously? Like, we gave you particular instructions about this, and you're going to say no in front of him.
That is true. That is a very good true. And I thought it was a very small chance, but I didn't quite put it in the absurd light that it deserved to be put in. But yes. So, okay. Because things got heated. Burn. Are you as a player okay with this? Actually.
With arguing about it?
No. Yeah, I'm sorry. With Al arguing about it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you feel that your character should do this, then do this. I just wanted to point out the downsides of doing this action.
And that's definitely true. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Hang on.
Are we good to go back in character?
I think so.
Okay. Shall I set the scene again?
Yeah.
Okay. Good friend, your good pal, Tyra the Lizard Mage, walks towards Vernon, who has his hands dug into your chest. Moments after the Baron gave a small shrug and a nothing response to Al. It looks like poor Vernon is about to try to climb over the seat itself as Tyrath gets closer and closer.
Al would say, Tyrath, a moment, please. This is not a suitable host.
It's not the host that we agreed upon.
We didn't make an agreement. You gave me a suggestion.
Then I'm altering the suggestion. I am not going to allow you to murder an innocent man. There have got to be people who deserve this.
Oh, the Baron says. Deserve. The Baron takes a long drink. Give me an example. Give me an example. The child is paralyzed. Tyrath has paused for a moment and is looking between the two of you. The gem's still in his hand, but he has paused for a moment.
A rapist, a murderer.
Okay. Let's go one better. A rapist and a murderer. I know a man, relatively young for his size, owner of the Bronze Traveler. He was a notorious pirate. He has killed 23 men, and a huge, horrible sexual offender. Problem is that he is now head security of a component of Freedom Station. He's completely redeemed himself. A heroic act, I might add. So, should I still take him instead?
Al shakes his head and he says, I'm not a child. I will not work. Your little philosophies don't matter because you know exactly what I mean.
Yes.
There are murderers and rapists out there who have not redeemed themselves, who will kill and rape again, who you could take instead. And a man of your means, I'm quite sure, knows where he could find one.
The Baron gives a thin smile and he says, I know exactly what you mean, and your morality is redundant. Do you know what a future life will do? That was my point. They might be murderers and rapists one day and heroes 10 years from now, but those heroes will never happen if you kill them beforehand. When you take a life, you take a life. You don't ascribe value to it. I learned that a long time ago. And what about Vernon here? Maybe in 3 years, he becomes a murderer and a rapist. God knows I would do so after I saw all this.
Al would look at Tyrath. Tyrath, am I clear in the concept that if we do not grant the boon to this man, it will not be given to him?
Tyrath rumbles. we made an agreement. You do me that favor, and I return by granting a boon unto your associate. He points to the Baron. This has been identified as the associate. If it is not granted, I will not do the favor unto anyone else. You may revoke your favor if you wish, but I will not return what you gifted me.
Al nods and then looks at the Baron. It would seem our morality, as redundant as you find it, is the only thing giving you a second chance at life.
The Baron sits back. You hear Vernon whimper a little bit. And for the first time, he raises his voice and he says, "Silence!" Vernon quiets down. So I provide a man or a woman, and I give you their criminal record. I now have to screen it by you who my new body will become.
It may make you uncomfortable, but in the end, I'm sure you'll agree it's a small price to pay.
Renegotiation implies a renegotiation of payment, he says. You can't change one thing and expect the same in return. I offered you 4 of my treasures, now I'll offer you 1. The rest can stay the same.
Add a character, are we okay with this, or should Al push? Or Patrick or Byrne push, or whoever.
What do you mean push?
Uh,
Pushed already fucking enough.
That's I'm asking. Are we as characters or players okay with this? I mean, he can always. Here's the thing: we have, in the end, no matter how tough he acts, we have the upper hand. We have something he wants more than life itself, which is life itself. So we could push, but I'm okay with not pushing because we've pushed a lot.
He also pushed a lot. It is something that is a give and take. Now, he's taking 3 away for a tougher target to get. Is that fair? Who knows? Life and magical items don't really have a particular price to it.
Intrinsic value to them? I hope not.
There's no document that has that listed.
This wand is worth 7 noble lives.
So, I am personally okay with giving up trinkets to not having my character go through a mental crisis. I think that's a fair trade.
I think so too. Burn.
Dude, I don't care.
All right. Well,
I-
everything
I-
else will be the same. So.
I didn't mind at the very beginning before you pushed. I don't think I will mind now.
Alrighty.
I will be slightly saddened at the fact that we had to push and got less for it. But you know what? It's fine.
All right. Then Al will nod and say that is acceptable.
The Baron gives you an icy stare. This is why I don't deal in morality. It's unprofitable. Maybe you'll learn. We have a new deal. You'll have to give me another day or so to find a suitable candidate. Shall I provide their intelligence report, their felony logs from the other stations, whichever station I pull them from?
Yes.
Or do you have someone in mind you'd like me to be? Under 20, please.
No, I have no one in mind.
How convenient, the Baron says, for me to choose and you to negate at your will. A poor negotiation tactic. Go. You may return to the luxuries I provide, for we, regardless of this incident, we still have business to attend to and hopefully a future to foster together. Tyra gives a rumble and looks over to Patrick. I will be summoned once more and once more only. After that, our deal is finished, whether he gets a new body or not.
My apologies, Tyrath. The information was implied, but apparently not solid enough.
Tyrath gives a small smile to Patrick. That is why knowledge and clarity is power. And with that, he disappears.
Al would look at his friends and then head out, not wanting to stay for the Baron's lectures.
Squee,
Okay.
you're forgetting something.
Oh, am I? Oh, yes! Oh, God! Al would say, obviously, we both agree that this poor man here can't be left to cause you more trouble.
No, he cannot.
Instead of a fire, we will take him with us.
What are you talking
And
about?
you'll
Five?
never
I have
see
no
him
idea
again.
what you're talking about. You're going to take him with you.
Yes. And you will never have to see him or worry about him again.
If he's with you, I'll have to see him and worry about him for as long as he's on my ship. Will I not?
We don't plan on being your ship much longer than after our deal is concluded.
Baron says, what if I give you assurances that no harm will come to him? There are other ways to make people forget than the permanent kind. Surgically.
Out of character, would my character know anything like this? This is a thing that can be done with relative undamage?
You know, Earth tech, there could be brain surgeons that can eliminate areas of the brain. It might have some short-term memory or not, but you do know the medicine up here is more advanced. Unfortunately, the only medical apparatus has been either in the piss poor outcast station or the very basically stocked Rhapsody. You don't know what the great things of the network or, Eurostation or anything like that is capable of. But the glances that you have seen is very advanced. So you don't know exactly if he's telling the truth. You do know it's feasible, but the danger level, not 100% sure about. It could be extremely safe. It could be extremely dangerous. Suffice to say, it's feasible.
So, I have a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what? I'll do this in character, because...
Okay.
When we call upon Tyrath, we will bring him with us to Earth. And he will have no trouble to you.
The Baron brings his clouded eyes over to Vernon. Hear that, Vernon? Lucky you. You get to go the place where all the demons come from. Vernon shakes his head from side to side. He goes, no, I just want to go home. I'm sorry, Vernon, but you're now their slave. Congratulations.
It is either we find you a nice, safe place on Earth, or a surgery I'm unsure about.
In fact, Vernon, I suppose the choice should be yours. Either you go through the surgery, which might be very dangerous to you, might not, or you come with us. We can assure you that we will not take you to any demons. We will take you to a safe place.
No, I'll go with the surgery. It's weird, but no. Just make me forget this, Baron, please. I don't want to see you. I don't see anything this again. I just want to wake up back home on Freedom Station, and I just want this to be a nightmare. And the Baron gives a smile, and he says, a nightmare is all it will be.
Al shrugs. I mean, like, he's not going to tell the kid what to do.
True. And with all due respect to the kid, you guys, strangers, who just summoned a giant lizard mage who was going to do horrible things to him. No matter how nice you might seem, there's no way in you'd have to, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. If I were him, I'd be like, no.
Do you want to go to hell? Like, there's a really safe place in hell.
Trust me. There's no demons to get you. I know we showed up with one. I know we summoned one. But don't worry, that was just a joke.
He's a kind fellow.
He's great. Well, I think this is a fantastic place to end the session if it works for you guys.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to stop.
Good stuff. You didn't think it'd be that easy, did you?
I knew out of character that it was not that easy. In character, I was just like, he's just going to be oblivious about this. That should be fine. Even if it isn't, just like, he's not particularly too happy about the whole, like, people dying thing, but at least it's to somebody who actually deserves it. Fucking now he knows. Now he has to do something about it.
I tried so hard. I was like, me as a player, I'm like, God, I just want this. Just let it happen. I just want this. And I was like, but it's Al. He's not going to be oblivious. He's not going to trust that this guy is not going to be a dick about it. So, oh, Al, if only you could be more naive sometimes.
For those of you who are watching right now, before you all head off, unfortunately, we will not be playing Rifts for 2 weeks, probably, unless things change while I'm on vacation. But I'm going to Florida for a few weeks, so I won't be at home, so I won't be able to participate traditionally. If things change, if somehow I have a Sunday night free and I have internet access and it's no problem, then we'll see. But we'll just say no Rifts for 2 weeks.
He's gonna wrestle some gators.
I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna go to Legoland. I'm gonna go to Disneyland.
Legoland.
I'm gonna go to all sorts of places. It's really nice, actually. I don't have kids, but I have two nieces and a nephew. When they're young, you can go to Disney World again and be completely justified. Be like, see, I'm with these kids. It's okay. Right. Disney World. You can just go to Disney World whenever you want. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? But, yeah.
All right, yeah. So, woohoo! But 2 weeks.
Shall I?
It'll be hard. It'll be weird, but we'll manage.
Should we chat with the nice folks, or are we off for today?
Sure.
Well, no, we can chat with them for a bit. It's holiday tomorrow up here, or statutory holiday, so I don't have to work. So I'm good.
It is a holiday up here too. It's President's Day. So what's your holiday?
Victoria Day.
What's that?
The President's Day of Canada.
No.
It's okay. I was surprised because I thought it was just an American holiday because you don't have presidents.
Valentine's Day. No, just kidding. No, it's not Victoria Day. It's National Flag Day.
Ooh.
It's a national day.
Okay, so
Sorry, I got that confused with Victoria Day. It's pretty much just so we can have a stat day.
Maybe Canada made Flag Day and America's like, well, we're making President's Day, so yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned in the chat, what about Three Galaxies? Yeah, so what about Three Galaxies and the Ardenfell, the other role-playing things?
Oh, well, I'll be around for Ardenfell this week, and by the time Ardenfell shows up again in 2 weeks' time, I'll still be there. Three Galaxies, I'll be there this week, but for the 2 weeks I'm on vacay, up to you guys. Honestly, Like just like with riffs, I'm fine if it's not your fault that I'm on vacation, right? So I'm not going to stop you guys from having fun.
I would leave that one up to the players. I'm fine
Mhm.
doing a session if you guys want. I know that having 3 people is a bit small, so if you guys choose to wait until Inferno gets back, I am fine with that as well.
Well, we'll see how we feel about it, and maybe
Yeah,
we'll
talk
do
about it.
one and go like, you know what? I think this might be really important for Inferno's character. We might wait a week or something. We'll find out.
But for the
I'd
next
appreciate it.
Well, but for the next week, the next session of 3 Galaxies in Ardenfell, Inferno will be here. His vacation
Yep.
doesn't start until after, so.
Until Saturday.
Yeah. What happened to
Shoot.
Corsairs? None of us have the time to
exists.
edit it. That's what happened. We've done 2 sessions, and we still plan on doing more sessions. It's just that we don't have the time to. Criana and Piph have been the ones mostly working on it, and it's just such a long, extensive. I don't know how the TI guys do
ridiculous.
an episode a week. I don't know how they do an episode a week.
Good job to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have a 2-people system just like us. I'd rather not get into it, but because it's all
Yeah.
tech stuff. But they have at least 2 people working on each episode, and that's how they do it.
Yeah, maybe one day when we get big enough and I can we can do this as a full-time job, we'll be able to dedicate like 2 days a week to it. But it's so much work.
It is a ton of work. I can tell you that it takes quite a few hours just to get through like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, any other questions? Let's see. Will they detailed it on the stream? What did we detail? What?
Huh?
No, the Thrilling Intent guys had a stream today, so that's what he's probably talking about.
I see. Well, they are cool guys. I will tell you, it's a lot of fun, and we plan on, if nothing else, we plan on having sessions, once every month or 2. And I guess, sooner or later, you guys will see what we've done, one way or the other. Either one day we'll just give up and release them, though I don't think that's likely, or we'll just release them as we can, just when we can.
See you guys in December 2016. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But for reals, I would like to have them go up and stop getting a whole bunch of comments on PSYLP of where the hell's the next episode, even in Skype. But it
is not up to PSYLP or Burn. It is specifically up to me. I will take all the brunt of this. Pester me if you would.
Sure.
It's a good reminder that I should be using my time a lot more effectively. So
yeah. But
if anybody wants to bother anybody, pick me.
Sure. How noble.
What am I thinking of?
Jersey Shore.
Oh, that's what I was going to tell you guys earlier. So I'm listening to some audiobooks of a book called The Stormlight Chronicles, just some fantasy book, and it's a very, very long book. And in the books, there's a thing called Sprin, which are kind of like mystical fairy type things.
Of course.
And they take different shapes and forms. And one character has a Sprin called Pattern, which just takes the shape of a pattern. And when it talks, the lady who narrates it has the exact same cadence and mms of Tyrath.
Really?
So every time I just pictured Tyrath.
Really? That's amazing.
It's awesome. It's obviously a different voice, but it's the exact same mannerisms, even down to the
Really?
It hums a lot. It goes like
that is eerie.
It's a little bit. So it's kind of funny though, because instead of this little pattern on a table, I pictured giant lizard mage on the table. Oh man. You should draw Tyrath doing a pouty selfie like in Zoolander.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I'll say that I got really surprised when I heard there was a Zoolander 2. And I liked
dude.
Zoolander 1 as much as I kind of am ashamed of saying such things. because of the intellectual level of it and so on and so forth.
I'm not ashamed to like it. It was good. It was good, dumb fun.
Yeah, dumb fun.
Yeah.
Although, unfortunately, the second one, I honestly think I just saw the best parts in the trailers.
Maybe.
Like with those movies, most sequels are like that, especially comedy sequels. They don't take enough risk, so it's always the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So I honestly think I saw the best stuff in the trailer. So
Did
I'll
you see
find out.
Deadpool though? I saw your tweet.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's amazing.
Let's
Aw.
actually not talk about Deadpool until the stream goes down, because there's a lot of stuff that I would like to say about it.
I haven't
But
seen
All I'm
it.
gonna say is
there
that everyone
may
should
be
see it.
people-
Everyone should
everybody
see it.
should see it, except for
Grandma.
you're with your mom and grandma. Let's see it with your dad.
Oh yeah, moms are 50-50. Grandma, only cool grandma.
Yeah.
Squeeze grandma can do it.
She could do it.
Probably.
She'd probably enjoy it.
God, you have such a cool grandma, Squeeze.
Thank you. I mean, I can't really take credit for it or anything, but yeah.
Oh, she has some wit.
we whenever we go on road trips, we like when we came back from Crystal's wedding, we spent the whole way back just talking about how crazy the rest of the family is.
Oh
Good time.
jeez.
Yes, the
That
Stormlight
sound-
Chronicles by Brandon Sanderson.
It does sound like her though. I cannot believe I would not put it past her. Just like, what the fuck's with this Piph guy? Like, the hell? Putting
how am I liking
sauce on
XCOM
everything.
2?
What's wrong with
I-
him?
I'm liking XCOM 2 well enough. I haven't dug into it as deeply as a lot of people have. Still not the biggest fan of the timers, not because they're there, but because I'm starting to see, as everyone says, they rely too much on timers. So I'm not a big fan of that. They also have some very strange choices that I'm not exactly a big fan of, like the fact that swords do less damage and have less aim than shotguns. So why would you ever use your sword?
Because swords.
Cool.
But like it's if you think about it tactically, I have no reason. The only way I could ever see using a sword is if I can't think of a reason, because most
ammo.
of the time,
There you go.
yeah, ammo's the only way I can think of, which is really so they need to find a way to make swords more relevant, because they're kind of just
You know what? To be honest, though, it is realistic. It's not good for a game, but it is realistic. If someone said, "I'm going to hit you with this sword," or "I'm going to shoot you with a shotgun," I'm in bad shape either way, but I'm going to go with the sword because I think there's a better chance of me living.
yeah. But from a tactical standpoint of the game, it's if you're gonna put it in there, make it useful.
Oh,
Like
I
that
agree.
was one of the
Oh,
selling
completely
points of the
agree.
Ranger. Yeah, was the sword. Make it do what the stun lancers do. Make it knock people unconscious. I'll take that.
That'd be
But
pretty
yeah,
great.
I don't understand why they need to throw in swords. It's kind of silly if you ask me.
I will tell you that one of my most hated enemies in XCOM 2 has a sword, the stun lancers. But that's because they have the chance of knocking you out, and it's
That's-
just like insta kill.
It's like having tasers, though. Really.
Right. But they are. I love them in the sense that I love what they add to the game, but like in every game you have that one hated enemy. It's the freaking Lancers. All right, but yeah, so XCOM is my favorite Fire Emblem game. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
This is
don't
my
get it.
favorite story in the
Fire
series.
Emblem is a tactical strategy game, kind of like XCOM.
Okay.
Yeah, I would slightly disagree with it because you could do a lot more in XCOM than you can do in Fire Emblem. A lot more. Though the story does not.
Similarities, yeah.
The story is a bit more dynamic about like who is alive and dead and so on and so forth in Fire Emblem, but just for the sheer like the player choice, flexibility, things like that, XCOM definitely takes the cake on that.
Well, here's a good way to put it. I've played a few Fire Emblem games. I've never had stories. I have stories in XCOM. You know, I can't remember a single time in Fire Emblem where after I got done with a mission, I'm like, my God, oh my God, and then this person with the shotgun saved his ass, and oh my God, you know, I never felt that in Fire Emblem.
I can see that. It's a very simplistic, slow, and to be honest, very even-handed game where there's not something that's like, and you basically have to live through this wave of death, and you're like, I did it.
Yeah. I've noticed that there are a lot of differences in XCOM. I don't use smoke grenades, which I love smoke grenades. I don't use medkits, which I love medkits, because the game, for good or ill, kind of really strives and forces you to try and kill things before they have a chance to hurt you, which is great strategy. But basically, I've noticed that my focus has shifted from defensive to all-out offensive because it's just much more effective in this game.
Absolutely.
It was actually much more effective in XCOM Vanilla, if I think about it.
It was
Inferno and I-
actually, and Long War in a way.
Well, I remember you and I were talking about it. Long War made defensive more viable, though.
It did. But still, in essence, if you kill your enemy, they'll never attack you again. Whereas if you defend your enemy, there's a good chance they're going to attack you again.
Unless that freaking sectoid reanimates them, then it might attack you again. But yes.
But that's the concept, right? But yeah, the question is how viable the tactics are, right? Because, frankly, in strategic warfare, like I'm just thinking, I don't know, World War One, where defense was the king. It was trench warfare, defense was the king. You know what I mean? You killed so many more people if you were on the defensive than if you were attacking, right? But it's situational. And that's the same thing with these games, right? They're programmed in a certain way, they're designed a certain way, they run a certain way to more or less encourage one tactic or another. If it can do both like defensive or offensive is equally viable, that's great, but that's really hard to do. You need like a really deep, complex game in order for that to happen. And frankly, I think XCOM 2 isn't that deep. So you do find strategies that are more effective than others. That's just how it works.
Things that usually get put into this kind of game, as well as pen and paper games, a lot of people who do like the stat thing, when doing both of those instead of more of the role play section, will usually have the mindset of this: how many resources am I using to defeat this enemy, as well as action management. So let's just say you have your character. You want to attack the opponent. Do you want to have a chance to hit them and do damage? If you do damage, how many times do you need to do damage? As well as... Well, I'll give you a thing in XCOM 1. So in XCOM 1, you can either have your freaking sniper rifle dude, maybe even have 100% shot, one kill of, like, a single dude in a group, or you can take your freaking rocket launcher dude over there and kill a group of 3 people in one shot. That's technically better.
Yeah, but you only have one shot of that rocket.
Yes. And that's very important. This is what happens a lot of times in hard mode for me. I did the hardest difficulty. I basically had a team of rocket launcher dudes. Like, that was basically the team. It was just freaking, I think, 2 snipers and 4 rocket launchers. I think that was the entirety of the team. Just front line and back line. And I basically... Each person had, like, 3 rockets, some other things. I think I might have had another character somewhere. But that was basically a tactic, which was just, like, how many things can you kill within the turn that you, like, activated or whatnot. Like, that you have to think about, if you are moving forward, how dead is the opponent? Which in other games you could actually just take whoever kind of group, move them forward, see an enemy, and try to, like, plan around them. But on the harder difficulties, you basically have to kill them before they get to act a good half the time, or kill enough people that if people do take their actions, they're taking their actions to try to get to you. It's it's a really harsh way of thinking, because it stops being like, all right, I'm using my gun to shoot a person, and I'm using my numbers to hit their numbers, so they don't get to throw numbers back at me. There's a weird wall there, where it's really hard to think of what's happening when you have to think of so many like specific statistics and things like that. Everyone went silent.
Because I'm listening. It's all good. I agree.
Yeah, same here. But yeah, I completely agree. And like I said,
I'm booting up Darkest Dungeon.
like I said, I'm not saying that
Darkest
I
Dungeon.
don't like the shift. I'm just noticing that it is a shift in how I play. But new game, new strategy. That's a good thing, I think. Making you come out
guess.
your comfort zone.
That's interesting, because I grow resentful for games where just like, there's a way I want to play, and the game's just like, no, it's not gonna work. And I'm like, but I really want to play this game. It's like, I'm sorry, but this is better. And I'm 50-50. If I really like the game enough, I'll adapt. But sometimes I get stubborn. I'm like, if I don't get to play the way I want to play, I'm just not going to play this anymore game. The game's like, too bad. This is how you play it, motherfucker. And you're like, okay, fair enough.
Lucky for us, XCOM is one of the few games that can be like, okay, well, here's an INI file.
What were you about to say, Piffy?
I'm sorry. I'm that guy. This is why I love Fallout 3, because you really can just do anything.
You are that guy.
I am that guy. I've actually done a successful playthrough of the game, and I actually explored and did a whole bunch of stuff with just fire and explosive weapons. That's it.
Yeah, I'll say that Fallout 4 definitely lets you play the game a huge number of ways. Its limitations are story-based, even though I like the story. It doesn't let you play the story very many ways.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as you approach how you explore the world and how you interact with the world and how you fight, especially, it has enormous flexibility. Yeah, so I think it got that part right, at least, which is good.
For me, as far as Fallout 4 goes, it's very simple. Hello, Lindsay. We're near the end of the stream now. We're just shooting the shit. But for me, I can sum up Fallout 4 very simple. The things that they added was not enough to sway me compared to the things that they took away. So it doesn't mean I'll never play the game, but the more I found out about the game, the more things I found out that weren't going to be there, and the things that were there just didn't interest me. Just did not drive me, did not turn my crank.
I still have to play that game to figure out my own personal opinion on such things, because I have such a weird one, even though, like, when like what's a freaking Undertale came around, and people were like, this is a great game. Well, I heard that after the fact I played it, but like I go like, yeah, it was. It's like the one game that I agree with everyone else on. For some reason, every other one just have some weird alien just kind of going like, this is video game. I don't like it because there's too much green in it, and people are like, I don't even know what you're talking about, Piph. There's no green in this game.
Funny. Favorite food? Oh my goodness. Asking questions about foods now. My answer is very simple. Lasagna for dinner and cheesecake for dessert.
Mine is, oh gosh, hibachi salmon.
Oh, that's very specific.
French fries. It's sad, but it's true.
No, it's just not sad. It's your favorite food. It's okay.
If you ever go
In my
to...
opinion, you can't go wrong with a good hamburger.
Unless the hamburger's trying to eat you.
Oh well, then you had it coming. Just best to let it sit back.
You know what? You know what? That's a good point. That's very philosophical. You mean like I ate enough burgers. It's about time a burger tried to eat me. I'm not gonna be too angry about
The
it.
Burger King.
God. When was the last time like you played bad game roulette there, Piph?
Oh shoot, when was the last time? It had to be like maybe 3 months now or something like that. It's not that I have not been playing bad games. That's not the case. I just don't have a registered day. I guess anymore. I have been playing Deadly Premonition. That I think is a game that is bad, but I liked. So there's that. Again, this game has just the right amount of green, so I really enjoy it.
Was that like a joke, or do you seriously care about the amount of green and stuff?
Oh no, that's a joke.
Okay. I hope so. I'm like, I don't think Piph was like that, but it would explain why you like Fallout 3 so much. That's a very
It's
green
so
game.
much green.
So much green.
I love green. Can't get enough.
Guys, I gotta go
So
work in the morning, so I
Alright.
think I might
Yeah.
call it a
I
night.
was gonna ask if you guys wanted to end the stream, so in case we wanted to talk about stuff.
Oh right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well,
Okay.
Alrighty.
I can see.
we're gonna do private talk.
Bye, everyone.
Valentine's talk.
Oh my.
Oh baby, oh baby.
Bye, everyone.